And what a lovely morning. Good morning. Morning. We've talked the whole night.
Good morning.
Good morning to you. Good morning. Good morning.
Better with coffee.
Great stay up late. Good morning. Good morning to you.
Alrighty. Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the Morning Roast. And I'm, of course, Sugar Chris. And with me is Mr. Sim.
Hello and good morning, everyone.
To turn this off. Turn off my phone real quick before it starts notifying me of like every spam caller in the
Dude,
area.
I'm super excited. I just got a message that my book is going to be on this way soon. I, not everybody knows about it, but remember Grandizer? It's an old cartoon
maybe.
with a giant robot, a bit like Trenzorzi.
Oh yeah.
And it's been out. There's nothing that has been done. They've been trying to make like a sequel, get more anime and stuff like that, and it's always been stopped. Right? They tried to do like a new reimagining of it, but what I'm trying to say, what I'm talking about right now is the French comic industry. Like, there's some big French creators they got the rights, and they're working with the original creator of Grandizer. So people that they're a big fan of Grandizer or Galdarak in French and Spanish, they're coming out with a giant size comic book, like a European comic, and it's the sequel. It's actually after the last episode of the show, and they read the conclusion, which is coming out this in the next 5 days. The only thing is right now it's in French, so if you're bilingual, get it because it's selling out. It's and hoping there'll be an English version later.
Let's see. We got Pale Router, of course. And he says, "I see they're late as usual." Yeah, I was waiting on Sim.
Oh, and by the way, I want to tell Soul not to worry. I'm working on his Nat, the Merc sketch cover.
Oh gosh dang it.
And like he asked, Nat is going to be wearing Vincent's costume.
Gosh dang it. Soul's saying that Dunkelzippers came over for some beers. They were also late celebrating his September birthday. As usually wants me to say hi to you guys. He's also waving. Gosh dang it. Hold on. I'll be back. I'm wearing the wrong shirt. Gosh damn.
Yeah, and Chris is probably going to try and blame me again for that one. Happy birthday. Happy birthday to you. Do you belong in a zoo? Welcome to the Morning Roast. You skip your intro, I guess. I'm not so. Hopefully he didn't hurt himself on his way to get his little thing. I don't know what he went to get. But he won't get hurt. I can control nothing. I can't even show you guys what I'm working on. Anyways, people that are listening, all the packages are ready. All I have to do is the sketch covers and then mailing. That's what I've been doing all week, preparing all the orders. Let's see if I can bypass this shit. See the nice blank covers? Coming your way soon, so... Oh, here waiting to be drawn on. And here's all the other covers. And I also have some of those printed in advance for the Second Chance campaign. You have the Preston Acevedo cover with Scotsman and the Me and Scotsman cover, which was the original intended cover in 2016. And he just remastered it. And here it is.
All right. So there's no guest again. No, we're good. Our guest is on his way. He said he was going to need about 15 minutes to get ready. So I figured I'd go ahead and start. That'd give time for people to come in and stuff.
See?
Anyhow.
Mayors.
Let's see. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Happy birthday, Mr. Dunkle Zipper.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I had to put on his shirt. You know, just before I went on here, I was like, I was like, I was sitting there thinking about Dunkle Zipper. I was like, man, I need to get my shirt. I was like, maybe I should put on the Rob Zombie one, just in case. I was like, because he's always here, even when he's not. He's with us in spirit. But then I just threw a random, I think, Disturbed shirt on. I'm like, oh, if he shows up today, I'm going to have to go rush to get my Rob Zombie shirt because they don't want that Disturbed shirt.
And Creator Outlet saying, Sim, congrats on your Indie Vault Awards. Yeah, I won 2. And they're on their way here. You know what we won for?
Oh, you actually get physical
yeah.
little awards? That's cool.
Yeah. They're going to be right there behind me. For, best cover for Blood Hunt and best artist. Just saying.
Let me show something.
And Russ also won too. He won best comic, I think, over the year. I don't remember which one the other one though.
Ow.
Is that my box?
All right.
Is that my box?
No, it's not your box. This is my box from the con. I got a bunch of stuff I'm going to have to show off on a separate stream, but I met a couple new people. I met a Jason Pell. He did a book called Zombie Highway. And a few other books here he's done. His latest one's this Pinpricks book. And then the Heroinberg people had a lady there with them. And she had a new a book called like The Music Maker. But it has like little QR codes throughout the book where you can kind of like listen to the music and stuff as you read it. I thought that was interesting. And but Jason Pelford has done a few different books. And of course this box is all like mostly unbagged, non-bag and boarded comics.
Like most of your books?
Sure. I'll have to go through all that on a separate stream like this, like a hangout stream. And I had I've had a few different things come in that need to open. And this is the Outlaw Nights thing that came in, I think. Yeah, I hope everything's still in there. The reason why is because like when I picked it up, like there's that opening because he's got like a tape on each end. Yeah, so when I picked it up, it almost came out. The book that was in it almost came out, so I don't know what all was in this, but hopefully it's still in there. Because like it's open on the sides here. Yeah, there's openings there.
So what do you have in there? Open it. Open it. Open it.
No.
Open it.
Save it for an unboxing.
No, we're waiting. Open it. Open it.
You're going to be waiting. Yeah, you are waiting until the unboxing.
Oh, you bitch.
Rocking chair stream.
You're such a tease.
What? We saw the three. Oh, Jesus.
Okay, if people agree with me in the chat, right? Open it, Chris.
Let's see.
It looks like it might be an original art.
Dunkel Zipper gives thumbs up and up the irons for the shirt. Nice, nice, nice. Then Jay Cage is here and he says, "But I like Disturbed. Put that back on."
There you go. This is better. Cyberpunk. There you go. And it's a limited edition hoodie.
Yeah, my brother just got Cyberpunk the other day.
Dude, I've had it since it's out. Logan bought it for me for my gift, and I haven't played yet.
Yeah, my brother's been playing it. All you hear is like, dum, dum, dum,
There you go. You have creator
coming
outlets
from the other side, the other house.
You have creator outlets saying, "Fucking open it." You can, and you have El Gogger open it. Tease.
Best Anchor and best. Oh, nice, nice. Yeah, Russ deserves accolades. His Only Death Can Save Us was really good.
Yeah, I backed it. What did you do? When are you gonna back it?
I'm gonna back it
Hey,
when
El
I'm
Gargo.
ready.
Remember this?
Let me look. There's some special.
The Runes of Runnon sketch that I did because I was supposed to be working on the book. It's going in as
Are you talking about Rotten?
Yep.
I miss Rotten.
Me too.
Why doesn't he love us anymore, Sim? He won't bless us with his presence.
I don't know. What the fuck did you do to him?
I didn't do nothing. I just watched his show. I'll open this one. I'll open this one. Big thing. Let's see.
And yes, so I got it on PC. Don't worry. My son's not happy because he had it on PlayStation 4.
Yeah, my brother got it on PC. Let's see.
It's a humanity. Did you buy one of those original pages or something?
I don't think so. Didn't think I did. Maybe I did. It's been a long time since I backed that one. Not long enough for my memory to go. Let's see. Okay, open it up. Oh, I got something in here, so maybe I did. Let's see what that is. Okay, there's Outlaw Nights.
Hell yeah. Can't wait to get my copy, dudes. I haven't even seen my pages colored by Beacon yet.
Okay. Ooh, whatever it is, it's damaged.
Is it?
It's got a cut on it there. It's like a tear. Oh, it's the poster.
The poster got damaged?
I got like a right there's a little cut and stuff into it. Oh well. Yeah, I was wondering why in the world did I get this giant box?
I thought you were getting one of the original pages I did.
Yeah, it's a poster. It was for the poster, I guess.
Yeah, I thought it was going to be one of those original pages I sent him.
I'm glad I didn't lose the book out of it. It slid almost completely out of it when I picked it up. Oh, let's see.
So you have Ace joining the chat going, "Where's my Nat book, Sim?" And I'm like, "Did you just miss the first like 15 minutes of the show?" It's on his way.
So the reviews with a critics and journalists hate the new Venom movie because it's not woke enough narrative going around. Stop it. They suck. Don't need more sequels. I don't know. I've never watched the new Venom movies. They look kind of not interesting to me. I seen there was like a lot of humor in this one too. I was like, no, I'm good. Let's see. We just skipped ahead and talking about the host box. What? El Gargoyle. Hello, hello, sir. Pale Rider done. Oh, see, Sam, I shouldn't have opened it.
Why?
Because Pale Rider said he didn't want to see my box. Alejandro.
Now open the comic.
Says, he says he's just saying hi. Well, hello back, Alejandro. What? Whoever calls. Oh, there's always calls for the red dress stuff on Red's channel. Every time he streams, he plays that video clip.
Yeah, they use you to promote their show.
How dare he? And I'm not even there, and he's giving me hell.
Back in a sec.
Dang him. We got Ace. Alien vs. Predator 2000 is $2 in Steam. Yeah, you can. If I remember it, you can usually find that one pretty cheap. A lot of times on like GOG, I think usually puts AVP 2000 on sale a lot. Who says a giant box? Horror Radio. Hello, hello, sir. Ain't seen you lurking around too often. Yeah, see, he's always playing that one of me in the red dress, but he never plays the one where Katie compliments me.
You have Alpha, you have Beta, you have Gamma, then you have Chris.
That's right, that one. I'm not just mere Alpha or Beta. I'm above all of it. Oh my! But yeah, Sim was I seen you last night where Russ had launched Only Death Can Save Us. I'm pretty excited about that. The first one was pretty magnificent. Excuse me. Checking to see if there's anything on here on the campaign of like a drawn into or anything. I'm not seeing it, so okay, so I don't think I have to back right away. There's nothing here I'm missing out on. If I don't. Okay, good. I'll back here later or something. Maybe when he comes on the show. Let's see, I gotta reach out to a bunch of people to get back on the show. I gotta reach out to Phil, Passion, Russ. Who else do I got? I might reach out again to Ryan Wynn because we ain't had him on the show in a long time. See how he's getting along. Not sure who else I'm gonna reach out to. I've got like 3 or 4 people I've got to set up a day to schedule in with. Ow. Because there's a few folks. That fella that I just pointed out from the con, I need to reach out to him and get him on. Oh, look, there's Russ. Speaking of which, hey, Russ. Hope you're doing well, sir. I was just saying to them that I just seen you launched last night on a Bancroft show. I was doing a quick check to make sure there weren't no drawn in tiers or anything like that might get scooped up that I needed to check for. Since there isn't, I'm gonna hold off until like later to back your book till like I get you on the show or something. All right. Let's see. Did I miss any mess? Okay. Let's see. He says he's been blown away by the response. Yeah, it looks like the campaign looks like it's going really well. If I remember right, you were funded before the end of the show, weren't you? That's pretty good. Let's see. I'm sure I didn't miss anybody. I didn't. All right, good. Where's? Let me check. I seen. Here, I'm gonna share this while I'm waiting on Sim to come back.
Oh, fuck. What's up?
Like, Liam Sharp posted on Twitter. He said, "A few found me through 2000 AD back in the 80s. More found me in the 90s on Dust Head 2, The Hulk, Respawn. In the early 2000s, I had a brief comeback on Gears of War. Most of the gamers love that. Then post 2015, Wonder Woman and Green Lantern reintroduced me to fans again. What was your Sharpie intro?"
My Sharpie intro? I guess it would
Sim.
be Death Head. Or, technically it would be Spawn and Death Dealer.
I gotta go find the other volumes of Death's Head 2. I think I have number 1. I need 2, 3, and 4, I think. I didn't realize Dan Abnett worked with him on that.
Because I remember on Death Head 2, I was not a huge fan of the series, but I really, really liked the stuff. But I remember Death Dealer number 2 was him.
Hmm.
And then he did the Dark Age Spawn series, which was sick. And I've been following the guy ever since. And he also did some ABC Warrior.
Yeah, I was gonna say that might be where I know him from. I'm not sure. Was it the old ABC Warrior?
Mm-hmm. Yep. He was one of the artists. He did a story or two.
Because I had a bunch of those like little stories that were in Rogue Trooper.
And there you go. Just happens that it's right here. Death Dealer by Liam Sharp.
Oh, I had that one.
The second one.
Oh wait,
and
no.
The first
one.
one is
That's
with
the one I
Bisley.
had.
Yep.
I had Biz. That's right.
And hold on a sec.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out what's like the first book I had that he worked on, but I'm not sure because I never pay attention to who does the books. I had a bunch of Rogue Trooper. I don't know if he worked on any of the ABC Warriors and that. I do have Death's Head 2, the number 1, so I know he worked on that one. I don't know. I don't know what my first encounter with
Chris.
Liam Sharp's work is. Oh, I just seen that one. Fancy.
Mm-hmm. Here's the second cover. Anyways, I have the floppies right here. And no, they're not bag and boarded. That's why I took them out.
Oh, look at this. We got a cowboy joining us.
I'm a cowboy. Where's
Shane came back from Brokeback Mountain to join us. In the
I thought
Shane
that's what we're
can't
supposed to
quit
do
us.
backstage.
The only
This is how you get
thing
on the show.
missing. The only thing missing
made
is a
me.
bottle of lube behind him.
Shane can't quit us. All right.
So can you guess what I did? I went to the Renaissance Festival.
You went ranching? I don't know. Oh yeah, it's a
Renaissance
it's a Renaissance outfit. Yeah, I see now. After I full screened you,
A Renaissance, and that's why you
I'm
have
done.
an Australian, and that's why you have the Australian hat on.
Australian hat. What? Have you ever been to the Renaissance Festival, you Canadian?
Not in your area, that's for sure.
They don't have these little fancy hats with the little feathers. No.
Yeah, I know.
It was fun.
It's just that you also remember if you remember those freaking boomerang guys in Australia used to have those same hat with the thing flip on the side.
And they were all named Bruce.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, we had Hex with us. Hey, Hex. Soul says, didn't Vinny do the figure designs around the Dark Ages era?
Mm.
He said he did. I think he said so. I don't know. He might have. I remember he said he did a lot of design work for McFarlane. Shane has been sleeping on his side, I see. Soul says to Shane, you're having the cowboy hat now and not in the cowboy trailers video? Good job.
Yeah, you,
Or
you
just
bought
up-
the hat. You
I'll
bought
just
the
up for the
hat.
Halloween
there.
one.
Yeah, we need to.
It was actually like
we got to figure out.
it was
what
pretty
we're gonna do.
expensive.
Was it? I didn't
My
think
hat.
of rent.
Yeah, it was expensive.
Oh, the hat. I
Everything at the
thought
Renaissance
the
Festival was
Renaissance Fair
expensive.
itself. Oh,
Kind of. I mean, for like two people, it was like over $40. Like, dang. Just to get to the Ren Fair.
they got all that money. Oh, I heard another one. Oh, there.
I always
Yes.
wonder what those people do.
Hello,
like,
sir.
Oh,
Hello.
Well, welcome. We went ahead and started the show already, so I hope you don't mind.
No, I'm late, so by all means.
Daggone Shane showed up, and I thought for a second, I was like, "Oh, our guest is here. Okay, good." You know, it's just our cowboy.
Ah,
So now the guest here, we can get formally started. So why don't you tell us about yourself, sir, Mr. Robbie Mack?
all right. Well, I live in Calgary, Alberta, Canada, and I've been writing comics since sort of late 2015, and it was just something I decided to get into late in life, and did some research and figured out that Kickstarter was probably the best way to help get my stuff published. So my first Kickstarter was in 2016, and that was for Deborah Daring, which was the first series I created. And since then, I've done 10 campaigns and a few different series. And recently, in the last year or so, I've secured a couple of publishing contracts. So the first one is with Scout Comics, and that's for Dancing with the Dragon, which is a kind of a crime noir series about money laundering with the triads in San Francisco. So the first issue came out in August, and the second contract is with Caliber, and that's for for Hildebrand, and that actually just hit Amazon this week and will be in comic shops in January. So
awesome.
yeah.
Yeah, it's you know all about this this whole crowdfunding or comic book business. Then you're a veteran.
Well, I guess as an indie creator, maybe, yeah, sort of been around the block.
Let me see. Yeah, I'm not as I'm always trying to learn more about Kickstarter projects. I'm trying to keep on it, But I did see your Hildebrand book.
Yeah.
I also seen it was here on Indiegogo as well.
Yeah,
I guess you moved it from Kickstarter to Indiegogo. Is that how that works?
Yeah, I mean, Kickstarter is my primary platform. With Indiegogo, sometimes I'll hold like a post campaign. To be honest, I don't push it too much. So I think most indie creators have a mailing list. You know what I mean? You have to develop a following, and you really have to promote your campaigns to drive traffic there. So I'll spend a lot of time promoting my Kickstarter campaign, and if it's reasonably successful, and I figure there might be some people that missed it because usually they're only 30 days, then I'll do a post campaign on Indiegogo. But I won't send people a lot of emails and promote it too much because it's really just sort of a fallback. If you miss the first one, then you can catch it on Indiegogo.
Okay.
Yeah.
That seems like a good idea to move it over to Indiegogo as like a leave it up shop.
Especially that it's two different demographic. Like so there's
Mhm.
clients on Kickstarter that
Yeah.
that don't do Indiegogo. There's people on Indiegogo that don't do Kickstarter. Like I have to really want your book for me to deal with Kickstarter. Especially because
Okay.
a lot of people do the backer kit thing, and I don't like the fact that they wait till the end of the campaign to take the money. It's a personal thing as a backer,
Okay.
right?
Yeah.
It's
Okay.
like you
I've
hear
yet
2
yet to
months
back
after,
a
here's
Kickstarter
backer
book.
kit. Please re-enter all your information and credit cards again. And you're like,
Yeah.
why?
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
just did it already.
Yeah.
It's a personal thing, but keep in mind that there's different clients on each. So it's one of the reasons why a lot of people are trying to push that people should pretty much do both at this point.
And that's what I've been reading. And truthfully, I should probably look into what you're talking about, like how there are demographic differences.
Mhm.
And I just haven't really taken the time to do that. But in the future, that's probably where I should put a little more focus.
Yeah, I'm a primarily Indiegogo person
Okay.
myself, but I do occasionally back a Kickstarter.
Yeah, like I back the Simon Bisley stuff. I back Liam Sharp stuff, but they don't use the backer kit neither. But yeah, there's all stuff of little things that are
I mean, I'd be curious what you guys think in terms of the technical platform. I actually think Indiegogo has some superior functionality.
It does. It doesn't need third parties for all those little extras that you get. It's all on one platform. You
Yeah.
have a lot of the Kickstarter stuff they added lately comes from the Indiegogo idea, like the
Yeah, the add-ons was really
the add-on, the
useful.
in-demand store, and how you build how the tool to build your page is way simpler and way more user friendly.
Yeah.
And the fact also that you can extend the campaign in case you have 60, you can have 30 to 60 days. You put 30 days, and then you could do like, here's a variant cover available for the first month only. Then the campaign ends, and you go,
Okay.
we're extending another 30 days. That cover is not available anymore, and here's a new cover, and you keep going. It's all stuff that you can do with the campaign that is pretty easy. And the fact that they take the money right away, I'm sorry.
Mm.
But if you back a campaign $200, you forget about it after 2 months, and it goes.
Yeah, for me, I always liked the Indiegogo because it took the money out as soon as I backed something,
Mhm.
so I don't have to worry about that like come later down the road. And then also I liked it just feels smoother. Like it don't feel as clunky as Kickstarter when I use it. So that's my preferences. There's a couple things about Indiegogo I don't like, but that mostly has to do with like searching, like how it works with the searches and
Okay.
stuff.
One up that I've heard from Kickstarter is the fact that like you were saying a bit before, on Indiegogo, you technically have to promote your goddamn book, because otherwise people are not going to see it as much. Well,
Yeah.
Kickstarter, you can pretty much just drop a campaign there, and people will find it for some reason. Like their algorithm, the way they promote the book, like you drop it there, and it's gonna be it's gonna be seen at least. You're gonna get a few back,
Interesting.
but
That's great. I mean, this has made
They
the
each
show
have their own
worthwhile already.
All right, hold on a minute. All right, Shane, you're going on the bottom. There we go. Boom. So our guest is more prominent in the screen here. The cowboy's going on the
That's
bottom.
fine.
There we go. Let's see. All right, since we started over officially here, Soul repeated his intro. He says, "Welcome to the morning roast where Milady is the knight this time." Yeah. We'll be talking to the creator of the successfully funded Hildebrand Valkyrie. Good morning, Chris, Sim, Robbie, and Chat.
was
All right. Nice intros. So good job, good job. And then he tells Soul or Sim, he says, "Look a little friendlier, please. We're all nice chaps here." I think he's telling you to smile more. So.
That's
Pamela says,
not scary. Don't do that.
does the Queen's Guard get down to her delegates? Oh, stay around her.
you don't like the Canadian smile?
Oh, gosh dang it.
Yeah,
I'll be
from
more
Canada
serious
too,
then.
Robbie.
Good to know. Yeah, I mean, I don't know about you, but I find, yes, there's a comic scene in Canada, but most
No,
of
not
my
really.
business comes from the States. I mean,
Yeah, comes from
if
a
you
lot.
were limited to Canada, you just, as an indie creator, I don't see how you could really make a go of it.
No, because like people were asking me like, what's the most famous comic in Canada? I'm like, what? Like seriously, like honestly,
Yeah.
like the most famous character in Canada is a comic book that's not really sold or people don't really read. It's called Captain Canuck. We all know him because of the name and the fame,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
that's it.
that's
Okay,
it.
there's no comic book industry actually in Canada. There's none. Like to be
Not
quite
really.
honest, like
Yeah.
I'm in Quebec, Montreal, right? So even in Quebec, there's a comic book thing, but it's not an industry. It's an underground type of thing, and it's all self
Mm,
autobiography. Self this me and my cat drinking coffee, right?
okay.
That's the type of comic. It's the same thing in the rest of Canada, and also too, it's a slice of life type of thing that they like so much.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
then if you go to Toronto, Ontario, they try to do the superhero thing, like Captain Canuck, the Chapter House crew,
Right.
which was like Alterna. Chapter House was Alterna. Was the first version of Alterna. Was they created the thing? We'll publish you if we think your book's interesting, but you have to run a campaign for it. You
Right.
give us the money from it. We'll pay the thing, and then the profit. Well, we split the profit. That was Chapter House, and that failed. So there's no really in comic book scene in Canada other than what we are doing. A few of us, like the guy from Caius, Robbie here, me. There's a few of them, but the comics, it's like you're saying, it's mainly in the U.S. I sell
Yeah.
more book in the U.S. and Europe than I do in Canada.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Hmm.
Do you have certain conventions that you like to attend in Canada? I mean, is there a good one in like Montreal or Quebec or?
Yeah, Montreal. I used to really like doing the Montreal Comic Con. I used
Okay.
to go to Quebec Comic Con, Toronto, and Ottawa. But
Ottawa. Okay.
my favorite one was the Toronto Fan Expo,
Mm,
and I used to organize something called Fantasticon Montreal before with some friends, which was kind
okay.
of like a smaller, and it was us doing an underground comic. It was mainly for all the indie comics in Canada. Everybody was invited for free tables and stuff.
Cool. Yeah, I actually grew up in Vancouver. I didn't move to Calgary till 2014.
Hmm.
But you know, when I was young, when I was a teenager in early 20s and more of a fanboy, there were lots of conventions that you could go to in the Vancouver area. Like they'd really just have the one big one, but then there'd be lots of little
Yeah,
ones. And
and it's the little ones that were the best and were.
yeah, but what I remember, and I'm going back to the 90s, keep in mind,
Hmm.
the indie scene wasn't nearly as big, and it was a lot harder for indie creators to get their stuff out there. Like, and the internet really was just in its infancy.
But
And
like I used to say, like before, for indie creator or writer going into a con and going, "Hey, look at my character," people were like, "Where's Batman? Where's
exactly.
Superman? Do you have some
Yeah.
Wolverine?"
Yeah.
And now, since the entire movement of indie comics, the CG thing, everything that happened, has
Yes.
opened the eyes to people that
Yeah.
right now, for the first time in years, dude, you go to a con and people are like, "Oh, that's a cool Wolverine. That's a cool Batman. Do you have your own character?" You're like,
There you
"What?"
go. Yeah. So, it makes me wonder, had I tried to do this in, say, the late 90s,
Hmm.
I probably would have failed. I mean, the late 90s, I submitted stuff to Marvel and DC and got rejected. And then I just sort of gave up and went on with a different career. And then in my mid 40s, just kind of decided, what the hell? Now I have some discretionary money that I can spend to produce my own stuff. And Kickstarter really just augmented that. And
Hmm.
then, and now I'm finally getting to the stage where I've built enough fan base and have enough publishing contracts that I can actually make a little money, but it's still pretty meager. But it's cool to see how the whole industry has morphed to support indie creators.
But I remember
Mhm.
too in the beginning of the indie comic and Kickstarter, right? Because I've been around a while. it used to be considered a huge freaking success to make $3,000 on a
I
book.
know.
It was like everybody was like, "What?" Right? Now
Yeah.
we look at people no name coming into Kickstarter or Indiegogo and making 5 to 10K on the book, and you're like,
Yeah.
yeah, this is where we're at right now, which is
Well,
pretty goddamn sweet.
what really excites me and what gives me hope is I'm seeing indie creators, so not guys who made their name in Marvel or DC, raise over $50,000 on a single campaign, and to me that's the hope. That's real money. That's quit your day job and just do this full time kind of money, and you don't
Yeah.
have to rely on Marvel or DC to give you a viable career. And so I'm probably a few years away from that, but it's like anything else. As long as you
But-
keep improving, you could get there.
Well, that you get to
we were
keep your
a
IP that way too.
Yeah,
You make that money and don't have to worry about somebody ruining your character.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we were a few creators, like artists, people. Like, there's a little difference between just a writer and the guy that can draw shit, right? On the money wise, because
Yes.
you have to come up with the money to pay that artist. That artist needs to make money. So
Yeah.
one of the things that we discuss is like people are like how to be viable, right? Like if somebody makes 10 to 15K on a book, he can keep doing that all his life.
As you said, if he's doing the
Yeah.
art as well, that's a real living right there.
Yeah.
Now,
like
for
if
me, I don't even break even until I raise over 10. So,
that's what
you
I'm
know,
saying. That's why you
Yeah.
have to keep. That's why we keep saying, make sure that we put the goal at maybe 5K, sometimes $3,000,
Yeah.
and that's what we, it's like we're hoping to make. We're not gonna make money on this because
Right.
we're in the hole. This is what we need the bare efficient.
Yep.
And if any book, like there's no book like 28-page book, 22-page book costs 15K to produce, even for the big guys. So think about it. Anybody that's indie comics, if they make $10,000, they're breaking even, barely making money still.
Yep.
Money wise, like when you're talking about expenses and everything.
Yeah. So I don't know about you, but what I find interesting about the industry is publishers like Scout and Caliber understand that indie creators need to continue to hold crowdfunding campaigns just to keep going. So if you get a publishing contract, you may not see any money for a year. It may take that long, and no one can survive on that. So in my contracts, it says I'm allowed to hold, Kickstarter or Indiegogo campaigns, and I just have to be upfront with my editor, and like you can't really go head to head with when you release it. And for let's use Hildebrand as an example. I had already had one Kickstarter and produced a 40-page, I call it a graphic novella, before I even got the contract. And he said, well, I want you to produce a 100-page graphic novel because other than that, it's not really worth my while to publish it. I'm like, okay, I will need to do another Kickstarter. He says, fine. I don't want you to offer the full graphic novel in softcover because that's what he will be selling. That's what Caliber is offering on Amazon and in the comic shops. So he had no interest in single issues, and he had no interest in a hardcover. So that's what I'm offering in my campaign. And I've even gone so far as to line up a potential deal to distribute the single issues through kind of a startup distributor. They're basically just on the West Coast, and it's kind of a friend. And I asked Caliber if they wanted to do a deal directly with him, and they said no. They just aren't interested in single issues. So I like the fact that these publishers are being flexible. They're not trying to get in your way. It's supposed to be win-win, and we all know there's not huge profits regardless. So we're just to get exposure and help each other out and get stuff out there. So
All right, let me check the chat. What they're saying. Gorgil said he's sticking with Indiegogo.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. There's a lot of people that are really like, I'm only Kickstarter and I'm only Indiegogo. And you know, like I say, you're a businessman. You cannot ignore clientele.
no, definitely
I'm
not.
gonna ignore Pale Rider. Move on from his comments. Jorge says if you guys made a bunch of money off of this stuff, you could no longer keep up the image of the starving artist.
Says who?
Uh,
I don't know. I see a lot of artists in Hollywood right now pretending to be starving while they're millionaires.
Yeah.
Just saying.
To me, it's a mentality. You know, like I wouldn't qualify as the starving artist because I've been working at a fairly decent day job for 30 years.
But
You
the
know.
saying doesn't mean it doesn't mean starving for food, because when you have
Exactly.
no food, you have no energy and concentration. What
Exactly.
they mean by starving is starving for growth, starving for
Yes. And I'm definitely there. I'm
when
ravenous.
you want to get better every fucking day and more than you want to breathe.
Yeah.
hungry.
And breathing, I mean, not the other breathing.
I have a question for you guys. I mean,
How's the
in
other
your-
breathing?
You know what I mean.
in your circle of friends, I mean, I assume you have friends who aren't necessarily into comics.
Oh, you assume I have friends, sir. That's a bold assumption.
And I'm
I
just
think
curious.
you're looking at him right now.
Yeah. When you talk to them about this stuff, if you do, like how they react, because I find people that aren't into comics, they're curious, but they don't really understand like how much work goes into them, and they think, you know, they call it funny books, or they think it's this goofy little hobby, and they have no idea the level of work and passion.
I'm not gonna say the name, but
When
I had
you
one of
tell
my
them how much you
friends-
spend just for a page of art,
They
you're
freak
like,
out.
What?
I have
Like,
friends that have been working
yeah.
in concept art and doing art all the time. You know, like that was their job. And they're like, I'm gonna do a comic, but it's gonna be freaking easy. It's gonna be this. It's gonna be cool. And they wanted to commit suicide when they started working on comic. They go, dude, I had no idea it was gonna be this fucking hard. I go, I know. The first time you sit down and you start, like, it's not the same thing. Like working on an image for 2 weeks, right? You're working on that image, get the perfect composition. You're gonna fix this. You're gonna fix that. No, but on a page, it's not the same story.
And you know, I can totally relate because at the beginning of my career, so we're talking the mid '90s again, I actually started as a graphic artist, and you know, I worked at an animation studio for a year, and I eventually got more into kind of web development and corporate communication type stuff. But I was in that mindset. So when I was trying to draw my own pages, I would obsess over the details, and I almost lost the overall concept of storytelling. And I, looking back, that's probably why I never made it as a sequential artist. I have talent, I understand it, but my personality isn't quite right. I admire the artists that can crank out a page a day. I send them a script, we discuss it, they do a layout, and then boom, they can do a fully inked page in one day. And I find that amazing. You know, like this artist you're looking at, brilliant Italian guy. You know, found him online, and he's not cheap, but he is dependable. He is professional. He just takes my script, and within a month, boom, I have an issue. And like that's just very hard to find. So I respect that talent.
It's hard to find, but it's all it works both ways. It's also hard to find somebody that's willing to pay the price.
Yes. Yeah.
Because you know we're talking about you have to freaking work like crunch 12 hours in one shot in one day. So you know it's like, how much you want to get paid for a 12-hour shift in one day? You know. And some people go, "Well, I'll pay $75 a page." I'm like, "Oh, well, I pass."
Yeah. Exactly.
That's-
Well, and here's the other thing I'll ask you guys about. How do you feel about using foreign artists because they're a lot cheaper? Like, I tried to find I tried to find Canadian artists, and with my first Deborah Daring book, I was able to. And within 3 years, he became so busy with TV and movie storyboarding, like comics to him was just a
Mm-hmm.
side gig, and it wasn't worth his while. Like the money I was paying him
We get
paled
paid so
in
much.
comparison.
We get paid so much
Yeah.
more in storyboard. It's not funny.
Yeah,
It's 50. It's like between $50 to $100 a frame.
there you go. So I couldn't compete, so I lost him, and I ended up hiring some guys out of the U.S., but with the Canadian dollar, that was not feasible. And then I eventually started going outside North America, and generally, I find you can find talented artists, both, pencilers, inkers, colorists, and they charge significantly less than North American-based artists. And as a businessman, I got to go with that. I mean, why would
I
I?
mean, that's how I look at it. You got to do what you got to do to get your project done, and at what price you can afford. So as long as it looks good.
Yeah.
Well, their
You
cost. I was wonder if it's because of like maybe the cost of living's lower down there.
No,
I think
it has
so.
to do with exchange. It has to do with your money exchange. Like
Yeah.
$20 for 20. Your $20 worth $25 here.
No. I mean,
Fine.
just looking at
37.
those panels, that's kind of an interesting comparison. So the first one on the far left, that's from Chad Harden, and you guys probably know who he is. He's a very successful artist. Works for DC a lot. I think his big claim to fame was Harley Quinn. He's
Oh, okay.
probably still doing it. Anyway, I found him on Instagram, and he charged me $700 US for one cover. Like, that's serious money. Usually far more than I'm willing to pay. But it was an experiment because he was a known name, and I figured, okay, well, if I can use his name on the campaign and in my social media posts, like maybe I'm going to draw in more
Yeah,
backers.
see if his brand name will help with bringing more eyes to your stuff.
It did a little bit, but to be honest, like I couldn't do that on a regular basis. Like it wasn't enough to justify paying $700 every time I needed a cover.
I can give you. I can add to that perspective the fact that we have some people even here, on our side on Indiegogo, and I've seen it on Kickstarter. People that have Simon Bisley fucking covers, okay, and they won't sell. Covers won't make for your book, or you not be able to pitch it neither. If you cannot pitch your book, make it interesting, or the book looks like shit inside compared to after like the cover, it's not gonna sell. Like you cannot. Like, what's the point of investing $1,000? Because Bisley's ain't cheap.
You can't have that.
Okay?
You can't have that mindset
Bisley's
of
ain't cheap. So you pay $1,500 a cover without even like.
Yeah.
Well,
I don't think I'd do it again.
Or the indie scene, and you got your own. Oh, sorry. I'm probably lagging on you guys. Anyway.
It's okay.
You're always like
I don't want to talk over you.
I
I know.
But
my thing is like you got different audience. Like I realized in CG, a Bisley might not be the most strategic thing for a cover because who cares if the audience doesn't care? You might like it because you come from a comic side of things of the people that really like Bisley, but in the indie scene, it might not matter. Nobody,
Yeah, but
like, oh, okay, cool.
Look at.
But if you get somebody like that, they know, like, say you get a Sim. But say you get a Sim cover, people are like, you know what? Oh, I like Sim stuff. I have like 5 of his books. I want his cover. JB, John Ball. That's another one. Look how much of his covers sell because people from the CG community know him, so they back him. They back his cover before they might get a Bisley because the community wants him. They don't want Bisley.
Yeah.
They you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I totally get it.
So you got to be careful. You don't want to
Very-
you don't want to overspend on a cover thinking because I got this famous person that's going to sell. It doesn't mean anything.
No,
It could be the guy that's on the bottom.
Point.
The bottom that's what I'm saying.
That was the point. It's the fact that if the success of your campaign is based on that cover, it's not gonna work. Like even if I did a cover on a book that people are not interested in, it doesn't mean they're gonna go out and buy it. It happened. It did happen. Some people go, I just bought that book because you did a cover on it. It does happen, but you cannot base your freaking campaign on the fact that you have a high-end cover.
Yeah. So I probably won't ever pay that much for a cover again. Never say never, but it was sort of a trial. I wanted to see what would happen.
It's not that expensive. Like, honestly, $750 for somebody that's really known. Like, I'm sorry. Like, if you if you reach out to Jeffrey Scott Campbell or Brett Booth, it's
forget it.
1,500 minimum. Yeah.
But that second one, that was an up and comer. Like he had almost no professional credits. I used Instagram a lot. I just, I follow a bunch of artists, and then sometimes you have those generic hashtag accounts, and you'll see someone that looks interesting, so you'll start following them. And so this guy, he's American. He just goes by the moniker Crees, Creees, Asian guy. And I loved it. Like that was $250 US, but he knocked it out of the park. And that's the cover that Caliber actually chose. So they could have gone with Chet Harden, and they said no. They liked Cree's cover better.
Yeah, but it is more dynamic. Like I'm right now, I'm seeing it like this, like it's a fucking stamp. Okay, to me on my screen. The first one, it looks okay. The second one, it looks dynamic.
It does, yeah.
Just the composition, the posing, the lighting, the this, the that. Like the third one, it looks maybe more like an interior page.
It's funny you should say that, because that was the next example. That is the interior artist, Luca Casalanguida. So you can see his little profile there. He is not necessarily a good pinup artist. His covers are okay, but his interior art is what I love. So, you hire the artist for what they're good at. And if I need to hire a separate person for the cover, so be it. If he can deliver rock solid interior pages on time, I'm all for it. And he's $150 a page, and he does his own digital inking. So not cheap, but totally dependable. And I have, only good things to say about him. But his cover is not always the best. So.
All right, let me check on the chat here. Johnny Cage told me I can't treat Pale Rider like that. I can treat him however I want.
Don't tell Sugar what to do.
Yeah, don't you tell me what to do, Johnny Cage. I'll treat you however I want to. Chris, does your guest know your red dress, Chris? No, he doesn't. And it's going to stay that way. Unless, let me check. Do we got any backers? I bet we don't. See, he doesn't.
So you want him to explain the red dress lore? Go back that damn book.
Let's see.
So we have that Sugar Rush appearing in the right top corner, and then
that's right.
You can have that question: what is a Sugar Rush? And then he has to explain the
red dress. See how it works? See how this works, people?
So
So my next question:
give Robbie here a sugar bump, and we'll talk about it.
My next question for you guys is, how do you feel about nudity in your comics?
I'm all for it.
I'm fine with it.
Me, I don't have any issue with it. I just,
I mean, of course, to me, it depends upon your audience, what you're going for, and stuff like that in the book. But I have nothing wrong with people.
Sometimes I have come across where it doesn't fit. I've come across where it doesn't fit in a comic. I don't mind in a comic, but sometimes I'm just like, What? Why is that
Why?
there? All right.
Why do I have 10 pages of this?
Yeah, it's like having a bunch of like random cuss words and stuff like that in your book.
Yeah.
It's like, well, why is this in here?
Yeah.
Sometimes
What's
it
wrong
doesn't
with
really fit the
It
swearing?
works if
theme.
it works.
There's nothing wrong with swearing as long as it like, fits.
You're
Yeah.
so prude.
Yeah.
Well, that's how I feel about it. Like, and that's another thing I like
Yeah.
about the indie scene
Because
is that
sometimes people
Go ahead.
Good.
Shane, go
He's
first.
He's on delay, Robbie. It's
Yeah.
like-
Just
you hear us
let
say-
Shane go first. He's got that delay, or he'll just keep talking over everybody.
It's like that delayed kid in school that you have to let go first.
No, go for it, Shane. I want to hear.
Get up,
Yeah,
cowboy.
well, I think people just people put it in there as a kind of hide bad writing sometimes. I think like if there's too much nudity, like I was never a big Games of Thrones fan. I know it's not comics, but I always feel like it had too much of that stuff to hide the shitty writing.
Mhm.
You know, like they went for a quick visual of like, look, I can advertise boobs and cussing. I've gone to conventions where people try that as like their thing to get me to buy their comic book.
Mhm.
I'm like, I'm a grown man. If I want to go see boobies, I'll go see boobies. It's not like it's the biggest thing in the world to like
Google
throw in
said
a
boob.
cartoon. Like, come on now. Yeah. So I think if you're going to do it, it has to fit the comic. And it's really weird too. Like I see some people who do like children books, but then they also have like the adult book with. So I think it's really weird on indie people kind of like flip. I don't know. It's a weird present yourself with. If you're going to go for it, go for it. But
Dude,
you got to make sure that's what you really want your audience to.
if you look back in the days, dude, a lot of freaking comic book artists used to work on children book because superheroes are considered children book, right?
Mhm.
And then they would go work at heavy metal and draw some fucking fat ass titties and ass.
Yeah.
You know, it's like Mobius. Mobius is known for
Oh.
drawing like adult comics. It's not
Good.
porn. It's not what is it? Erotic. It's
Yeah.
more about nudity. So there will be nudes in it, but it's not about erotic. It's not about having porn in the goddamn book either.
I don't think Shane was saying that he has a problem with someone doing both. I think he seems to be insinuating that he has an issue with like somebody doing both like on the same campaign or something like that.
Well, and I was like, if you scroll down, or I can't remember if it's at the top. I think it's at the
I
top.
see you got a little
Yeah,
movie book
so-
here.
This was an experiment. So I typically in all my other campaigns just stayed away from it. Didn't show nudity or anything. But you know, I am a child of the 80s, and so like I have these fond memories of those kind of cheeky cartoons from Playboy. You know, like I don't know if you'd call it porn. It's more just kind of
Yeah,
whatever.
a little like
We had the
they're more
nips.
comedic.
We had cartoons for teens with nip slips or stuff like that. If you
Yeah.
if you watch Heavy Metal the Heavy
Yes.
Metal movie, if you watch Rock and Rule, if you watch all those goddamn cool cartoons, hey dude, we were exposed to Fritz the Cat.
Yes, exactly. So
We grew up watching Fritz the Cat.
that's I wanted to offer something in the campaign that really was only loosely based on the actual book.
Mm-hmm.
Had some, let's call it softcore nudity. There's no sex or anything. And I wanted to see how my fan base would respond because it's something I'd never really offered. Well, let me tell you, they responded well. Like this coloring book raised out of 18,000 Canadian, raised 2,500, and it was an afterthought. I only released it halfway through the campaign. And so,
well, I mean, that does sound like it's something viable for the future, then.
and I had a blast creating it. So I hired my old boss. Remember, if I worked at that animation studio in the 90s, so I've kept in touch with him.
The tables have turned.
Yeah, and I said, "Hey, what do you think about doing kind of a cheeky semi-nude coloring book?" He says, it'd be awesome. And so we just toss ideas back and forth in Facebook Messenger. He lives in a different city.
Mhm.
and just the whole creative process was just so much fun. You know, like it was just nothing too serious. It's going to be 16 pages, and I was just really pleased with the quality of his work. It's got that cartoon feel, kind of like what Sim was talking about, and
Hmm.
yeah, it was a neat experience. I'll definitely do it again, but it probably will be separate from my actual books. It'll always be just an additional offering.
Okay. Let's see.
Me so far, there's always been tits in my books.
Oh yeah, but it fits your theme and everything.
Yeah, yes and
Makes
no.
sense
Because
to
the
have
first
booby
the
in your
first
books.
the first story I put out of that, right? There's no nudity in it until the end, and you guys will see. It's pretty explicit, but
So how do you
it's
approach
done
that?
for the
Like,
shock.
I mean, I stayed away from the nudity things just because I plan on doing more conventions eventually, and I kind of wanted to where like I mean like I just wonder
Dude,
I just wonder like
been in conventions lately? Like it's
no
supposed to be
listen
for kids, and
can I
you have
finish?
fucking mouse pad with boobs everywhere. You have tits everywhere.
Yeah,
naked
but what
people.
do you do? What do you do if you get a young teen that wants your book? Would you still sell it to him? Or you like for you, kid?
I don't know if you guys
You're
can
just like,
see
take
that,
my money.
but
No,
that's
let me go full screen there. There we
that's
go.
one of the pages of the coloring book. I don't think that's offensive. Even if a kid did see that, I don't think it's shocking them to ruin their.
it's tasteful,
But
You know?
and
Shane,
there's nothing wrong with boobs.
you know that it's only the U.S. right that have that problem with tits. In Canada and everywhere around the world, showing boobs ain't the end of the world. Like it's only the U.S. where it's okay to see somebody getting his head exploded, the eye going like that, gory. It's like, oh yeah, that's fine. But tits, you put tits. I see a nipple. It's only you guys. Like I've learned that when with Kickstarter and Indiegogo, dude. It's
I
weird.
still think the point stands that if it's not necessary in the book, though, should
Yep.
you do it? I mean, you can. I
Absolutely.
mean, it's your book. Whoever wants to do it.
No, I agree, though. If it's not
But it's like,
part of the story, then why do it?
yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah, so let's see. Let me.
It'd be like reading like Spider-Man, and like all of a sudden you just get like boobs everywhere.
Oh,
now I
no.
know chat's gonna be like, I want man.
I don't.
But is it necessary?
I don't know.
No.
I'd like to see like a mature Spider-Man and then get to see Hello Tiger with no shirt. I don't know.
I don't want to see it. I don't want to see that.
Well, something like Thor, I think you could
Spidey.
easily modify Thor to be an adult-themed story because the whole Nordic mythology, they had no
Yeah.
problems with nudity.
Yeah.
Nope.
I could see that, or Wonder Woman, from Gear.
Well, that would be good.
Yeah, I could see that. I mean, heck, her origins alone probably worth that.
Yeah.
But Johnny Cage, he's down south. He says no, it's because $1 worth $5 down here. I can charge less and make more of my money than most people. Win-win. In reference to the whole,
Yeah.
people charging less. Mr. Fisk is with us. Hello, other Chris. He says Calgary, awesome. That's Hart family territory.
Yes, it is.
But one thing I will say, it's if you decide to take advantage of those exterior artists because they're less expensive, don't go telling other people that they're too expensive.
True. Yeah, it's relative.
Yep.
Yep.
Mr. Fisk says Norman invasions history rocks. And Soul says Shane always lags because he's calling from the 80s and using 80s internet connection.
That makes sense.
It still makes that noise. It goes.
Let's see. Yeah, you're getting sass, Johnny. Just watch your ass. Let's see. Johnny Cage says he feels very strongly about nudity in comics. The more you can put in there, the better. I have a copy of Penthouse Comics, so yeah, I'm okay with dudes. Wow, the guy who hangs around strippers all day is okay with dudes. I never would have guessed. Yeah, I used to have a book from the '80s, and it was all the Playboy cartoons
Oh yeah.
in it collected in it.
Dude, if you read heavy metal in the 80s and 90s, who remembers Drunen?
I do.
Right? Like, I remember me the first time opening it and Drunen
Yeah.
was in there. I was fucking traumatized. Like, you
In a
think
good way.
that was the beginning of hentai. Like, that was Drunen. Drunen was
Yeah.
that perfectly shaped body, like
Yeah.
golden, like not golden, but like dark, golden skin, like somebody that's very tan. She was gorgeous, like boobs and shit. And her situation is she always gets stuck somebody, and she has to fuck a monster to save her life.
Yeah.
And you're
I'm
like, I
sure.
remember the first. You're like you're reading cool stuff, right? Like, Tarna or something. Oh, here's a sample of Meta Baron. I'm like, oh yeah, that's fucking good. And then you get Drew, and you're like, the art is sick, like sick. The art is like you can be like totally grossed the fuck out, but the art is beautiful, and you're like, what the fuck is this? I'm getting violated, and it's
Yeah.
heavy metal was really something back in the days.
But that was to me the European influence. They had a different approach and attitude towards erotica. Like just
Yeah, but
Yeah.
their rise was similar to what Kirby and Stanley did back in the days. When it's a big shift in the comic industry, it was a bunch of artists. The industry was on the decline, was closing doors. Everything was closing. Like there was no sale until they changed the market. The creator came in and decided to do the Marvel way. Same thing happened in Europe. They were getting censored. They were getting shut down. They were getting canceled because tits, because this or because that, or they couldn't touch this, they couldn't touch that. And they went, fuck your censor. That's where the Shali came from too. So they went, fuck your censor. And they did heavy metal magazine, Metal Hurlant. They started Humanoids. And that's when you had the Mobius and the Philippe Druyet, and you have all those people teamed up and started
Yeah.
Metal Hurlant.
And
heavy metal.
I assume.
It was.
What do you think about the resurgence of heavy metal? Because it seemed like it almost died, and then the last couple of years it's come back.
It died. It got canceled. Eastman sold to some Swedish brothers.
You can never kill the metal.
It was not publishing for a while. It started again in digital, and now it's back. But now it's woke.
Oh,
As
really?
Yeah,
as Tenacious D would say, you can never kill the metal.
it went mainstream. Let's just leave it at that.
Okay.
But I'm a big fan of it. Like I bought the anniversary and number 300 issue with the blank sketch cover.
I like Chris's comment.
That's right, Mr. Fisk. That's kind of like how I start conversations. Everyone I knew I meet. What's your states of gratitude?
I think it's a good conversation opener.
That's a great way to break the ice. What do you think about boobs, huh?
Yeah.
Soul say to Sam, Tales from the Netverse, mouse pads with boobs. When?
Yeah, that could be cool. Especially rose one. So you have like one metallic boob with the skull, and then you have the real.
Yeah. Pale Rider posted a sketch he has started in the Morning Roast chat, apparently.
Let's go see that.
Because he likes making my life miserable.
Oh, check this out. Share my screen. So people have an idea what we're talking about.
I'm not. What's this now?
This was Druna.
Oh yes, Druna. Yeah, I remember well.
And as you can see, the art was absolutely sick.
Yeah.
But it's nudes and it's always sexual, and yeah, she always ends up having to sleep with monsters and shit.
Yeah, it was the type of thing that
looks good.
I couldn't overtly admit to reading.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And here's the.
Oh, you son of a! You get out of here with that. No. No. Wait, why am I not? Oh, are you not in the Morning Roast DM room, Johnny? I thought you were. Is he not? Soon?
I don't know. I thought he was. Let's go see.
We'll have to put him in there if he's not. All right. So we've not actually officially talked about this project the whole time we've been talking. So, Mr. Fisk was asking.
At
for a
least
link
we got
to
to.
it.
At least we got to know Robbie pretty well, and you
Yeah.
know.
Well, I mean, that's one of the important things. That's one of the two important things we got here.
Okay,
We got to
so
get
now
to
let's
know the
do this
creator,
right.
now the book.
So now,
Okay.
what can you tell us about the book?
All
Give us your
right.
pick.
So it's essentially about a female knight in medieval Europe, as you can tell by that little intro.
Mhm.
In terms of the idea, I just thought it would be cool to write about a female knight, and I had to come up with some sort of semi-plausible storyline of how this could happen. I am a bit of a history buff. I'm calling it medieval fantasy, but it probably doesn't fit in the fantasy genre. It's not Lord of the Rings. I did a lot of research on that period in the English kingdoms, because it wasn't even really England back then, right? There were various kingdoms like Mercia. And then I did a lot of research about the Viking invasions and, what era would make sense, because I wanted this character, Hildebrand, to be from a Viking mother and an English father. I thought that would make an interesting dynamic, right? So the backstory is there were Viking settlements, early in the 800s. The big invasions came later in the century, but the Vikings had sort of trickled over for years before that. And so I imagined, okay, well, what if, Hildebrand was born into one of these settlements? I also discovered that, missionaries were around at the time, and they would have been trying to preach Christianity to these Viking settlements. So plausibly, you could have an affair between a missionary and a Viking woman, and that's how Hildebrand is born. And so her mother dies, and her father, they never admit to the affair, so he's not in the picture. So she ends up getting raised by the Catholic Church, and she's supposed to become a nun, but on her way to the monastery where she was going to take her vows, she gets raped. And so she does make it there eventually, but she loses the baby and she's sort of shunned. They think that's a sign from God. So she leaves the monastery and becomes a scullery maid for this rich lord, the guy you're seeing on the page right now. He had just lost his wife and son the year before to sickness. And so he falls for her, and he actually ends up marrying her, which would have been frowned upon back then, but he's a bit of a rebel.
Mm-hmm.
And because he is paranoid about losing her, he teaches her how to fight. Teaches her the ways of a knight. And in the Vikings eventually raid their town, and I did some research. So in 871, the Vikings raided Nottingham. So that's kind of where I based this locale. And that's where he gets killed, and she's his squire. And he basically asks her to kind of take over his household and defend it if the Vikings ever come back. So that's how she sort of becomes this female knight. And another key part of the story is that after, a couple years after this, she's patrolling her lands, and she discovers this missionary passed out. Like, he's starving, he's unconscious on her land. So she revives him, takes him back to her home, and discovers that he's fleeing from a neighboring town because the Vikings are back and they're invading again.
Mm-hmm.
So she basically goes to all her ex-husband or her late husband's friends and rallies an army and they successfully defend the next invasion. And again, I tried to tie it to real dates. So the first invasion was 871. The second one was 873. They repel the invasion, and she's formally knighted for her bravery. She's back at her home with this missionary, and he reveals to her. So yeah, if you scroll down a bit more, he reveals to her that he is actually her father. And as I said, that in the whole backstory, she came from an illicit affair that he had with this Viking woman, and so she's a bit shocked. But they basically reunite, and then the real bomb drops, and this is where it gets a little crazy. He's convinced that he is a descendant from Mary Magdalene, and therefore could be a descendant of Jesus Christ, the last descendant. And so again, I did some research to see if this was even plausible. And I don't know if you guys read that book by Dan Brown, The Da Vinci Code, and there's that theory that Mary Magdalene was pregnant when Jesus was crucified. She actually goes to Gaul, and the theory is her offspring is the line of Merovingian kings. And that was a dynasty in Gaul, which eventually turns into France. So the whole storyline is he's kind of the great-grandson of one of those Merovingian kings' bastards. Like they had affairs, right? And so the whole line of Merovingian kings was killed in the 700s. And
spoilers.
Well, this is backstory. And and so that's his theory. So the story is the father convincing Hildebrand they need to go to Rome to verify their lineage. And so most of the story is that pilgrimage. So I won't say any more spoilers, but that's essentially the Odyssey graphic novel.
Yeah, like Soul had said in an earlier comment, this is 120 pages, and for $33, with it being a hardcover as well, that's not a bad price at all.
Yeah, I wanted to make it accessible, and I've got a pretty good printer here it's in Toronto actually.
Which one?
Copywell. So they've, over the last few years, definitely built up a business that caters to comic publishing and Kickstarter campaigns. So I'm even doing my fulfillment through them. And so going back to the whole cost differential, because the Canadian dollar is only worth 3/4 of an American dollar, I can offer things a little bit cheaper than if everything was done in the States. Now, shipping is a pain in the ass. So what I found is by using Copywell, they actually package everything up and they send one big pallet to a US company that then ships it all out. And that's actually cheaper.
That's what I do. That's what I do to reduce, because I used to have to charge $25 shipping, right? That's what it costs.
Yeah.
And me and Beacon, one of my friends in the US who does the 7 Legion books, we decided to team up, and what we do is we bulk ship to each other. So I prepare all my orders for the US, put them in boxes, ship that to him express, and if you have a small business account, you save money. So you ship it to them. So after that, he remails, so I can charge $15 shipping instead of $25.
Oh. So, yeah. Any questions? I never know how much I should talk about a project without giving it all away. But that's
as long as it's not big spoilers for the book. Yeah, it's all good.
So Is that a
Yeah.
one-shot done deal, or you have more stories to add to this?
I've left it open-ended, so it is a self-contained story arc. But yeah, the last page leaves it open for another story arc that I haven't fully mapped out. I kind of want to see how this does, and
Okay.
but I love the character, and I could easily see doing another graphic novel.
Shadow Rider wants to know if Robin Hood's her grandson. Hey, we got Woodrow. Hello, sir. Let's see. Johnny Cage wants to know, does the missionary make up for all the years of child support?
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, Rudro, those colors are seeming to looking good. Scotsman's working on that print I did for him. He sent me a pic. Look, I'm like, that looks cool. He goes, by the way, Sim, what? Fuck you. Because I put a lot of details.
Delete that, Pale Rider. Delete it.
I grew fond of the idea of like your color is going like, dude, this is looking great, but fuck you.
Fantasy genre. Oh, look at that. Backed. Mr. Fist says he backed. Contribution number 4.
Oh.
Great book.
Ooh.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Much
yeah.
appreciated. This
You said you're-
go ahead.
Thinking
I'm
about
sorry.
grabbing it, too.
Oh, I was gonna say, you said you were a history buff, and this takes place like with the Saxons and everything. Have you heard of Bernard Cornwell, the author?
I love his stuff.
yeah,
I've
I do too.
read almost all of his books.
Have you read his take on King Arthur?
Absolutely. Loved it.
Oh my God,
What?
I love that book.
Wait, what?
Bernard
Oh,
Cornwell, he's a history writer, does historical fiction, and so he did
Mhm.
King Arthur spin or retelling. I thought it was
want
great.
that.
Yeah, oh, I loved that book. I loved his Archer's Tale series. I'm trying to remember
Oh,
the other ones. I've read a few different of his series. Loved every one. I'm always trying to find his books and get them.
Have you read the Uhtred series? They actually made a Netflix series out of it. Sword Song. I
yeah.
think is-
Was it Sword Song?
Yeah,
Have I seen?
I think that was one of the first ones.
Because I know
there's like
what was
6
it, the
books.
Saxon. I know the Saxon Tales or something. Then there was like the King Arthur stuff. There was the. No, I don't know. I don't think I've read Sword Song.
So Sword Song is the era I'm writing about because it is basically a very similar concept. It's a young man who grew up from a, well, sorry, I don't want to spoil it, but he's English. There's a Viking invasion. He's brought up in a Viking community, but then he comes back to fight for the King of England. So it's kind of that division of cultures, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that period of history, I mean, England could have gone either way. Like the
Yeah.
entire area was almost taken over by Vikings. So
Mm-hmm.
it's a very pivotal century.
So what was the name of the guy?
Uhtred? Oh no,
Right.
Bernard Cornwell.
Yeah, Bernard Cornwell.
I'm looking for the book right now.
Yeah, I love his books.
The Winter King, a novel of author. Is that it?
Yeah, his one series of books is called what is it called on Netflix? The Last Kingdom or something?
Yes. And that's
I've
the
been meaning
series
to
we're
watch
talking
it, but I never have gotten around to. I can't get myself to sit down and watch it. I just love reading his books.
I mean, it's pretty good. It's not quite as good as, say, Game of Thrones and Vikings. Those are my 2 favorite series of that sort of genre.
I
But it's
don't know.
pretty close.
Me, I'm a huge fan of everything, Arthurian legends. Since I grew up, I never heard about these things. Like I Game of Thrones, I started watching it, and I stopped when the mountain fight because that was stupid. The mountain and the viper thing. I'm sorry, that was fucking stupid.
And I mean, Game of Thrones
I need to read
really
the novels.
it spreads into the fantasy realm. Like it's a hybrid between historical fiction and Lord of the Rings, whereas The Last Kingdom is really just historical fiction. There's nothing fantastical about it.
Yeah, it stays fairly realistic.
If you like, did you ever see the King Arthur remake? Oh God, Clive Owen did it back in like 2004.
Oh yeah, yeah, where he was like a Roman general.
Yeah.
Yeah, I seen that one.
Because what I found interesting is in the 80s and 90s, most of the King Arthur stories were based more in kind of early Renaissance times, like much later. But if the actual legend is like 400 AD, so early Dark Ages, and so that movie really went back to the roots. And
that's why still to this day I still watch Excalibur.
There you go. Yeah,
Dude,
another 80s classic. Yeah.
Dude, I'm sorry. Like there've been retelling. There's been this. There's nothing still to this day that compares to freaking Excalibur. Dude,
and that had the odd boob in it, as I recall. That had the odd boob in it, as I recall.
Yep. And the only other thing that I thought was good was if you saw the Merlin, it was directed. It was a TV movie with Sam Neill.
I don't know
Merlin,
if I did.
and it was pretty goddamn good too.
Okay.
It was a telling of Merlin's story with Morgan Le Fay and stuff like that, and what happened to him.
Cool.
Put up the sugar bottom, Chris. Book is back. That's Mr. Fisk. Come on now. You're trying to rely on Mr. Fisk to get the sugar rush for your shenanigans, Tail Rider. That doesn't. None of you guys else backed it. I don't know. I don't know how I feel about that. I don't know if that counts.
Do you want to play the little intro? I'd be curious what you guys think of the.
Oh, okay. Yeah, sure. Let's see here. Volume's up. Okay.
It feels good to ride through these lands. It's hard to believe this land isn't mine by birthright, that it came through bloodshed, and before that, love. I can still remember my lord's handsome face, how we became lovers, then teacher and pupil. Part of me died the day he was struck down, defending our town from a Viking invasion. It was his dying wish that I take up his sword and defend his house. I felt the resentment from the other knights, but I have lived in peace since that day, until I found the old man collapsed on my land. After his health was restored, he told me how he was fleeing a horde of Vikings coming this way. We tried warning the local magistrate, to no avail. So I took matters into my own hands, before it was too late.
All right, yeah, that's like that. It's solid. Like that's nice and solid. I like the thing I'm not a fan of is like when you get on the Kickstarters, you get those you start to play it and it's like a 20-minute video and it goes through every detail of the creator's life and everything, and then like the book is last, and it's like just give me a trailer, tell me about the book. Yeah, I like this one. That was good.
Would it surprise you to know that voice was an AI generated voice?
I detected that.
Oh, that's cool.
In the sound of it.
It's a little slow. Like I had to play with. It's a free app online. It's amazing what you can get online. And
what's this app called?
I'll have to dig it up and send it to you. It was a website I used. Like I found it 2 years ago, but I'll try and dig it up. And you can do limited recordings for free, and then if you want to do long ones, you have to pay. So I did a bunch of little 30-second clips and strung them together. But yeah, you just type in what you want, and then you can pick a male or female voice of different accents, and then you can slow it down. So the default speed was way too fast, and I just felt it sounded more dramatic if I slowed it down, but that made it sound a little artificial. But in general, for free, I thought it was pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, you can't beat free.
Yeah.
Don't break my own rules. I make the rules as I go. Let's see. One back on the show equals Sugar Rush. Don't be a party.
All right, I gotta know what's the
God,
big deal about the Sugar Rush?
There, you got your little dancing Sugar Rush there.
Okay.
And I will take advantage of saying, please, people, don't forget to sub, like, and share. When we reach the 500 sub, I'll be giving away original art by yours truly to one of those lucky viewers. And when we reach 1,000 sub, Chris will be joining the Red Dress Run in Louisiana and win it for us. With Pale Rider following behind with his phone in a Barbie Jeep going, meep, meep. I'm a Barbie girl in a Barbie world. Yep, that's going to happen.
This is what I have to deal with every stream, Rob. Every stream. It's abuse.
You've got thick skin, Chris.
And if we get two more backers on this campaign before we close, he's going to be waving a Canadian flag with this.
Oh, see, I'd like to see that.
I didn't agree to nothing.
Hey, it matches with your red dress.
There, I put Spicy Chris up there, but did I say I had to explain everything to him? I don't think I did.
Yes, you did.
I thought you did.
That's only one backer. Come on.
Hey, one backer can mean a difference, Chris.
Oh, yeah.
You owe it to that backer.
Okay.
That's what the show's here for, Chris. You need to entertain and sell books, damn it.
I am not your worker.
Dance, monkey, dance.
Tell me what to do. Mr. Fist says, for future reference, could you make the naughty coloring book an add-on perk as well? If you buy the book, you have to make another contribution to also buy the coloring book.
Okay, I thought it was, but yeah, I thought it was an add-on, but I'll check.
If you haven't played with add-ons yet, you have to lock them in. Like you can create the add-on, but it won't appear if you don't lock in on the tier itself.
Okay, I will take another look. I thought
it's showing up on the hardcover as an add-on,
but not on one of the other ones.
I don't know. Let me look. Maybe the digital. Maybe that's what he's talking about. No. The digital has a little dirty coloring book PDF.
There you go.
Yeah, I could have sworn it was an add-on on all of them. But
maybe you didn't scroll down.
I mean, the little dirty coloring book doesn't have a Hildebrand add-on, but otherwise.
Oh, okay.
Me, I have the. If you scroll down, because when I click on it, I see the digital novel, graphic novel.
Yeah, maybe
coloring book PDF. Scroll down, you see the physical one.
Yeah, maybe he just didn't scroll down then. But yeah, the little dirty coloring book add-on is there for the hardcover contribution.
Good.
All right.
Okay.
I wanted to make sure I didn't share any private info or whatnot when I was doing that, so I'll bring it back up now.
So how do you guys? What's your strategy with add-ons? I'm curious.
With add-ons?
Yeah, I mean, how much effort do you put into your add-ons? Like,
I add-ons, like I don't have that many, but
okay.
I've realized that a lot of people like to have the extra book, and I use it to have like the extra book without too much shipping, like an extra $5 or $10 instead of the full shipping. Right?
Shipping can be an issue. Yeah.
Or when I did the sexy print stuff, so people keep in mind that people like the idea of having a la carte. They like the idea of you offering them a bundle, but they also like the idea of like, I just want the book and maybe pick my own little things that I want. Right? That's how I see it. If you want to break it down,
Right.
Like if somebody just wants those stickers, the stickers that you're selling, they don't want the prints. Well, they can add them on at the end. That's the approach that we usually take.
And
They can
and
be-
like let's just say percentage wise, like how much do you generally raise for the extra stuff? Is it consistent or does it depend? Or
so far it's been good because a lot of people get behind it because they like the unlockable extras, right?
okay,
So the
I
more
don't do
extra
that
you
yet.
can get with the book, like the stretch goals, people like
Yep.
the idea that if you get like instead of 5K, you get to 10K, you'll get like 2 prints, right? Or something like that, or a sticker.
Yep.
People do like
And
that.
I do that too. Like, but my add-on or my stretch goals are never as good as the add-ons. You know what I mean? Stretch goals are freebies, whereas
Mhm. But the
stickers
thing
and
is,
prints and whatnot for add-ons should be a little bit.
what one of the things that's
better.
been working is when you have add-ons that are not unlockable, right? You
Mm.
sell you technically make them available full price and add-ons. Let's say like your coloring book, right? You have like
Mhm.
maybe a print and a sticker.
Okay.
Then you calculate the entire amount that if somebody added all of that in, and you offer it in one big bundle with
Mm.
a discount.
Okay.
So people get to choose if they want just that coloring book or just like that. So they get to pick what they want, and you also offer them at, let's say, hey, if you want the entire bundle, let's say you get $10 off.
Yeah.
So it also
Also,
pushes the
also it depends on what it is artist wise too, because it goes back to that kind of like what you were talking earlier about the Bisley and all that. For me, with my audience being more CG, I strategically was like, okay, what CG artists can I bring in that if they did prints or sketches, those would move because people, they might even like, they're like, what, Shane's book, it might be okay, but hey, it's got this, Press and Azevedo cover, so, or it's got this certain artist, sketch card. So I mean, I don't know if you have anything like that in mind, but that helped. That helped my campaign. Just get that extra little bit of boost with
the
the
sketch
community.
cards. The sketch cards is something I haven't really gotten into. I'm curious.
Drawn in tears are also nice.
yeah, a lot of people like to pay money for that to be in the book, especially if you die in the book,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
right,
Yeah.
Chris?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's right. Yeah.
My
Like
strategy
Chris
is
is the Sean Bean of die in the book and in indie comics. Dude, he died in more than 20 something books.
oh wow,
That's more
that's
than
like a
Sean Bean
dubious
died in
honor.
movies.
I'm getting around.
But I
Yeah.
always try and have the art done before I even launch the campaign, so that sort of eliminates the whole getting drawn in thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can still like do
But
the sketch cards and stuff though.
But
You can find
that's
somebody
the
that
double
Yeah.
you think can
that's
move.
that's the double-sided edge that we've been discussing for a long time in the indie creed. It's the fact that if you have your book all done in advance, it prevents you from doing certain things that some people like, from seeing the book being built, seeing the progress of it, being able to be part of it, right? To have a tier that they can appear or be a character in it, stuff like that. You have the book done in advance, which is one strength, right? People, the book's already done in, but it takes away from the other strand of the person that's building the book during the campaign, and it works both ways. There's not one way of doing things.
I totally agree, and I think now that I've established myself, I like to think that at least in the Kickstarter community, I've done 10 campaigns. I always fulfill the campaigns. The quality is good, so I think I've built that trust.
And especially on Kickstarter, I'm sorry, but the ratio of people that don't fulfill shit on Kickstarter, since I've been there, dude, there's a lot of people that don't fulfill over there. They see the campaigns as if you're just giving them money. So
And that's what I wanted to eliminate by saying, this is done. I just need to print and distribute. But you're right. I think now that I'm entering the next phase, I think my fans might like to be involved in the creative process. So yeah, it's a good idea.
Mr. Fist says, "Oh man, my lunch hour flew. I have to go back to work. Great book. Have a good one, everyone." Well, yeah. See you later, Mr.
Yeah,
Fist.
looks
We'll
interesting.
have to have him back on sometime as well. Talk about Infinitales again in his fancy gaming arcade cabinet. All right, let's see. Oh, well, see, look at that. The one guy who backed is leaving, so I guess that means I don't have to tell nobody nothing. That's unfortunate.
Okay. I'll do it quickly.
No.
Well,
Never mind. I'll tell him. I don't want you telling him because you're terrible at telling people these things.
what? Me?
All
I just
right.
do a really short version of it.
You
Halloween
do a
challenge.
horrible job.
Halloween challenge at work. There's girls that give him a challenge to come at work with a red dress. So he goes, okay, you know what? I'll do it. So goes in a red dress. They made his
Now, what
hair
is-
pretty. They made his
Where-
hair pretty,
does it
and he
work?
started working. And the thing that's funny is that he was like bending over, filling something, and he turns around and there's a guy looking at him with a big smile, and he
Oh.
saw the beard and he lost
What?
that smile. Now follow that through. He's working through one of those alleys, and there was two Mexicans that were just following him with big grins because they seem to like bearded women.
They stopped. They put up and down like
So
five.
that was a story
Oh.
he told a while back because it was a funny thing, and it became the red dress, the Christmas.
Yes. Now
Christmas.
it haunts me every time I go on the internet.
And we even
No
have
way.
like a T-shirt on our store, right, where it's Sugar Tarna. Remember that the Tarna from the Heavy Metal magazine, the movie, where she's flying the bird,
Vaguely.
the sword in the air,
Yes.
where it's
Yes.
Sugar,
Yes.
where it's Sugar
Okay.
Chris.
Where
So,
do
yeah,
you
that's
work, Chris? I have to envision the workplace.
This was back when I worked at Walmart. I
Okay.
worked overnights. Yeah,
It's even
that was
funnier,
when
right?
the Walmart was open all night long because I worked overnights.
Okay.
Oh yeah, I had like the hose stuff. I had the dress. I had a bra on. I had hair done. It was bad.
And the beard.
And the beard, yes, of course. Got a match here with the beard.
Yeah.
And yeah, it was bad. I had a whole bunch of. I had a dude checking out my ass. I had a couple Mexican fellows from the plant following me everywhere up and down the aisle.
Oh God.
And oh yeah, I had other stuff go on too. I can't remember what it was. By the time that night
Did you
ended,
at least get
I
a
switched
raise?
back into normal clothes. I had like this red welt all across my chest from the bra.
Oh.
And it was like and it was like hurting. I was like, damn. My manager loved it. She was so happy. She took pictures and everything.
Yeah,
She's like,
but
oh.
Shane
Bet
asked
she
you a question.
was.
Shane asked you a question. Did you get a raise?
Nope.
No.
Apparently his boss did.
You didn't get a raise, but you probably got a rise.
I think that's
It's Walmart.
discrimination. That's discrimination.
It's Walmart. What are you talking about? A raise? Silly. Oh yeah, it was. They enjoyed themselves. And I guess that's all that matters. Let me see. How long are you gonna have Hildebrand on Indiegogo for?
Well, that's the thing about these in-demand campaigns. They don't make you set an end date. So typically, I've only done it once before. I think I let it go for a couple of months.
And I have another quick question. Since is it ready? Like, is it fulfilling as we buy it or something? Or
Oh, well, yeah. So literally, my goal is to send the files to Copywell, the printer, Sunday night. So I've already secured the quotes. I've ordered more than I need for the Kickstarter. So yeah, it's all going to be a done deal really soon. So I mean that will almost limit what I can sell on Indiegogo, right? Because the quantities will be kind of fixed. So as I said, this was really almost just a sort of second chance for people that missed the first campaign. But I'm thinking I need to change my strategy, like maybe
you know
hold them simultaneously or something. I don't know.
just quick question like that. Do you know that you can create like a limited a tier? Like let's say you have like 100 copies, you can just go make one invisible, make all of them invisible, put one there that goes. There's only 100 copy left.
Okay, well then, yeah, I should probably look into
And then
doing
you
that.
can actually leave it there until you're sold out if you want. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just a,
No, it's a
that's
good
why
idea.
I like Indiegogo.
Yeah, it seems very flexible for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, let's see.
Yeah. My goal was
I'm
to
at-
get this fulfilled in 2 months. So
I'm tempted.
Well, that's good. And obviously, from the way you're talking and your interests and all, this will be fairly historically authentic. Yeah.
yeah, and I'd actually be really interested to hear from fans if they, kind of do their own research and had questions, or maybe spot some inconsistencies. But like, I use Wikipedia a lot. I don't know if you guys have used that at all. Like, it's reasonably accurate.
I'm always worried about Wikipedia since anybody can post on there
Look,
and everything.
I can
Yeah.
tell you as soon as you go through college and university, right, properly, not just in social science. You actually, if you do any work, one of the things that you learn in college and university, Wikipedia is never to be used for any fucking reference. It's unreliable. They tell you, like, if you go, oh, here's my reference from Wikipedia, you fell.
So you're right,
Wikipedia's
and I
like-
would never. I took some history courses back in the day when I was at university, and Wikipedia didn't exist. But I agree. Like, to me, this is
The fact that
fiction.
somebody like you can go change the entire description without
Yeah.
even having to prove a background of anything.
Yeah. So you can't exclusively rely on it, but I find if you're trying to, when in the movies when they say based on, like, that can mean a lot of things. And so there's enough historical integrity that this is plausible. So I encourage people, look up Viking invasions in England in the 9th century, and I think this is going to line up pretty well. And so, yeah, as the basic plot points were there Viking settlements before 871? Absolutely, there were.
Yep.
And the places that I talk about are all real. A mini spoiler: at some point, they arrive in Paris. Well, the fact is, in the 9th century, Paris was a city. It was far more advanced than anything in the English kingdoms. And likewise, Rome would have been far older and more advanced than Paris. So generally, this is historically accurate. But I would never submit this as a historical paper in an academic sense, because you're right, I didn't go to that length of research.
Yeah, I like the way this one's looking.
Yeah,
I
one
like.
of the-
Oh, sorry.
to that point, I specifically chose Luca because he has kind of a retro classic illustration style. And I thought it suited the time period and the subject matter.
Yeah, the one I was watching. Was it on YouTube the other day? They were showing it popped up on my recommendations. It was some anime, like Maria the Virgin, the Last Virgin Witch, or something like that. Or I don't know what the anime is. I still haven't watched it yet, but it was showing all these because it takes place during the 100 Years' War, and it shows these. It was showing all these battle scenes, and the level of like detail, like historical details they put in was really nice. I was like, wow, this is like way better than like historical movies. Had like the archers, flipping their fingers up at the French and stuff, the longbowmen. and everything. I was like, wow, they put like little details in it and everything. And I really like seeing things like that. That attention. When you're basing it on history, putting in little details that would
I
reflect
was
the
gonna
time
say.
period.
Giving the
Yeah.
finger, going, "Your mother smell like little bellies."
Yes. There was a Frenchman at a castle wall being like, "I shall taunt you a second time."
I'm sorry. Every time
One thing that you can really get particular about is armor. And
Mm.
I did a lot of sort of pinups and stuff that was not taken directly from the story, and my artist took a lot of liberties with the armor style. So, for instance, that one by Chad Harden, that is not realistic for the time. Like if you scroll up a bit more, yeah, that would be much later than the 9th century. But I figure it's a pinup. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
the interior pages should be reasonably accurate, but even that third one, Luca, the first time I saw it, I said, "Luca, you've drawn a Boba Fett helmet." That didn't exist back then, but I figured, oh well, it looks cool. So
It's really cool.
yeah,
Hey, this part in the helmet kind of looked like it
a little bit, yeah.
with no visor.
Soul says, "Sorry guys, just had to blow my nose and drink liquid a lot because I underestimated Naga chili coated peanuts and ate a whole handful. Partying
Partying with
Knuckles
Knuckles
Zipper,
for like
making
it's
stuff
2009.
out of that." Oh, you mad lads! You need to calm down over there, Soul.
Yeah, and we need to play some Deep Rock Galactic soon.
Yeah. I seen Marinus playing it this morning.
Yeah, I was playing last night.
Some of us have to work soon.
I know, me too. I work.
Some
What do I
of us
say?
have jobs.
Yeah. Actually, speaking of which, I wonder what time is it? Oh, got about 15 more minutes, and then I should probably sign off.
Oh, okay.
So, what else can we cover on the book in 15 minutes?
Well, the coloring book itself. We briefly discussed it as it has it's 16 pages. There we go. That's what I was going to ask how many page count it was. Okay.
Yeah. So it's by the same artist. I think I mentioned my old animation manager. He lives in Saskatchewan for Sim. I bet you most Americans won't know where that is. But and he's got that neat sort of animated style. He can do comic book art as well, but I specifically wanted this to be more semi-humorous. And so he did the pencils, and it's digitally inked by this new artist I've connected with, Yao, Jao, from Brazil. And just, again, found him on Instagram and liked his stuff. He's got a very clean inking style, and he does coloring as well. And quite pleased with how his work turned out.
Oh, I just want to address El Gargle because he's like, didn't message me, see how you are. I'm like, you weren't online.
Oh, good job, Sam.
He wasn't online.
Good job. Soul saying to Sam, "No, I watched Marinus play that and it sucks. Don't like whimsical, colorful sci-fi dwarves."
Fuck you.
So
I
got a
mix,
question.
It's like a mix of like Vermintide and what was the name? Borderland.
So I got a question. You said sci-fi dwarves. How do you feel about the squats? You got a problem with squats? 'Cause you shouldn't. Squats are great. What else was I gonna say? Gosh dang it. There was a for Soul. There was I watched a guy play a game. I have it wishlisted on my Steam account. It's a first-person dwarf game. It's like survival. It's like a single-player game,
Oh, yeah.
and you're playing as like a dwarf, and you're. I think you have some sort of like memory loss or something, and you're going through like you're going into a dwarven keep, and there's like a forge, and a whole bunch of stuff going on. Southern Party of Canada. And he says I was on my computer.
Yeah, well, it says you were offline, so I'm like, okay.
Soul says, Sim, I'll never pay money for that, and I was able to heckle Marinus for free while he was playing.
Okay, so we chip in, we buy the game for him. Come play.
Don't force Soul to play a game.
So I have a question for you guys. Does it bother you that board game campaigns raise way more money than comic campaigns?
Oh my gosh, yeah. I noticed that on Kickstarter.
They raise millions. It's crazy.
Yeah, they raise crazy money.
Yeah.
I was like, wow.
I mean, I guess there's a lot more cost involved.
I mean, I guess
yeah, but there's also promotion.
It doesn't really bother me. I mean, it's a different like genre, I guess, as long as they fulfill.
Well, board games, I guess,
I mean,
like,
they didn't fulfill.
Board games, I guess, are a bigger thing though. Like
they are
popular with people. It seems like now
more mainstream.
D&D and everything's like a big deal to a lot of.
Yeah, I know. That's why I've always had plans to create a board game with an adverse.
See, that was my next question. Is if you were thinking about that.
I'm a 3D modeler too.
I'll see that you've got the skills, Sim.
I bought myself a 3D resin printer.
Cool. How much did that cost you?
Came up. I bought that plus the cooker and curer, so it cost me like $700.
Okay, well, I'm going to say officially,
a bit more.
We need to stay in touch because I've always wanted to offer little figures, as part of my campaign. But trying to find the right price point seems almost impossible. But yeah, if you're into that sort of thing, I'd love to create like a little Hildebrand or something.
But that's what I studied in a university.
Oh, okay. Very cool.
Yeah. My there was a guy at the Morgantown Mountaineer Con, and that's what he had a bunch of 3D printed like helmets. So it was like helmets from like different video game universes, comics, stuff like that.
Cool.
And my brother was like, "Oh, I'd like to have this and that and everything." My mom got like the baby Yoda in his little cradle, but I was like, "Well, why do you get paying all that money for it? Just 3D printing. You could do that yourself." Oh yeah, it's easy to say. Oh, all I gotta do is do this. I'm sitting there thinking, like, I know a bunch of people that can do it. You reach out to. Like, it didn't dawn on me, like, oh yeah, you gotta do all this stuff, and all this. It's like, well, I know people who do it all the time. I just thought it wasn't a big deal, but I guess maybe it is.
Well, I think you should work that into the show, Chris.
Oh no!
And I just checked. We're already friends on Facebook.
Are we?
Yeah. I noticed this. Tim. Everybody I reach out to, I go to add them as a friend on Facebook or something. You're already friends with them.
I know. Isn't that sad?
Would you do a board game or would you do a card game?
Dude, I've been in indie comics for a long time. Sorry.
Are you asking me or all of us?
Probably
you.
It doesn't talk to us.
I thought of both. So probably because it would be simpler, starting with even just a deck of cards. I thought that would be kind of a cool add-on. And I had a buddy that did that in one of his campaigns. So that would be a good first step. But ultimately, I'd love to do a board game. I wouldn't want it to be too complicated. But yeah, it would just be kind of a
you do
cool
something like
thing.
The Witcher. They did the Gwent. I think it's called Gwent, right?
Okay.
The Witcher one. And it took off.
Yeah,
took off just like
Gwent's the card
as
game.
big as the actual game.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, there's like Final Fantasy's card games in the game are usually a big deal, things like that. It'd be kind of cool to see this as like a TTRPG, like based off of like D&D or Pathfinder.
Yeah, and I'd probably need to partner with someone because I don't know enough about board games and that sort of thing. But
Yeah.
yeah, it would be cool.
I mean, that's why I have a friend that's his obsession is board games.
All I know is when I first started browsing the board game campaigns, both on Kickstarter and Indiegogo, and it just blew me away. Like how much these guys could raise, and they're not even big global board game companies. They're just
just small
guys.
teams.
Yeah, and me sometimes I'm like, you need some of them are like hiring those advertisement companies to help promote their campaigns, because to be quite honest, when you start doing promotion, when you start doing campaigns, and you realize that not only are you gonna have to do the work for getting money, you need to do the work for the book, but there's an entire other jobs that comes with it called promotion.
Yep.
And
It's time consuming.
Yeah, very time consuming, and you want to do so many things. Like right now, I still haven't been able to have time to just sit down and finish that first 3D model of Nat, because book fulfillment and this and that, because I do everything.
I don't know how I could. Like, I'd be curious how many hours you're logging a week, but if you have a day job, like your whole life just gets used up.
No, I started. I still had some contracts because I was doing some storyboarding or some designs and stuff like that, and I just stopped because I wanted to do this like all along and all the time. And when I first started, I couldn't do streams because I was always busy. The kids, because I'm a single dad too, so I have I have two boys, and I live with my best friend like a brother and his two girls. So I technically have 4 kids.
Wow. See, I didn't really get
realized
into
that
this.
Sorry.
I have a son, but he was already in grade 12 when I really kind of got into this. And so, he's almost graduated college, and he's living on campus, so he doesn't live with me anymore. So that was a real issue. When you have kids, you want to spend time with them, right?
Yep.
And this sucks all your free time. So that, once he moved out of the house, it was like, okay, now I have more time. Now my wife is very patient with me and jokes that
but
I don't actually live here.
That's the entire thing that pushed me into being self-employed, because when you come out of university because I studied to be a special effect artist for movies and video games, right?
Okay.
3D animation and stuff. So you go out, and while you're doing the studies, they tell you're going to do 60, 80 hours work a week and this and that. I'm like, dude, when am I going to have time with my kids?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. That's how I started being self-employed.
What about you, Shane? Do you have kids or?
No, I don't have kids. I find the women that have the kids, and then.
Yeah.
Thanks, Sol, for promoting my Patreon. By the way, I just want to show you guys a little something. Can you share my screen?
Soul says to Robbie, I think it's fair. I have a friend who's straight addicted to painting miniatures, and he always says, I need plastic crack. Serious stuff. Comics are more lighthearted. People streaming tabletop games made that popular, way more popular than comics, at least currently. Oh yeah, there's people on YouTube that I'll see do like skits about D&D, or they talk about the rules and stuff like that, and they've put out their own like supplements, I guess, for D&D, like where they create creatures or items and stuff. They make like 6 figures on these things.
Oh yeah.
They're making big money.
Like I have a cousin that I sort of use as a good example. He likes comics and he's always very supportive, but he actually spends more of his money on game-related stuff. And he's a huge Kickstarter backer. Like, he's always backing different campaigns, but he might back a few comic campaigns, but he loves the big board game stuff. And his basement is like a board game friggin' museum. He's got like over 100 of them. So, I think it is more mainstream.
And me to address Soul, it's not gonna be Blood Hunt on my Patreon, but you're gonna have that Demona. I'm gonna be doing a webcomic there for member exclusive.
Okay.
It's gonna be like a member exclusive thing where you get to see the webcomic without nobody else seeing it until it's done. So you have Demona. This is one of the covers. Here's the second cover.
Cool. Now, how long have you been on Patreon?
I just started.
Oh,
It's new. It's like everybody was telling me to be on Patreon, and I never had it. Like, what am I gonna do there? What can I offer people as a reward or something? So the only thing I have over there on my Patreon, what I'm trying is a $2 type of like thing where you're gonna see updates and stuff to my book, like a type of tip, right? $2 a month. And I have the $7 one where it gives you access to a webcomic.
okay.
That I'm gonna be releasing like a 2-page a month type of thing. And I'm also going to be re-releasing the first comic I ever did called The Wolf Dragon, which is also linked to Demona.
And is it too early to tell, like, are you getting a lot of backers or supporters?
Right now, it's been open for like a month, and I got 2 Patreon, including Soul.
Okay. I mean, I know some going to swear by it.
It's something I'm trying.
New.
Yeah, it's something I'm trying. I'm like, it's something I've noticed that people don't do. Like, I'm like, let's offer like a member exclusive type of webcomic. Like, they get to read the chapters before anybody else in the world gets to even see them, to read them.
Mm.
So I'm like, that would give like a purpose to somebody paying us type of subscription. That's how I started seeing it. Like, it's a subscribe type.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, well, if you pay $7 a month, you'd get access to a webcomic, maybe even 2, because like, I'm going to be doing the Wolf Dragon thing too. So and I have the $40 one where the Patreon gets a sketch card every month. It's something new I'm trying. Like, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And like if you're a Patreon on my webcomic tier and you keep going till the book is ready, right? You get the digital PDF of it. It's going to be in black and white. You get a digital PDF of the chapter, and you'll get access to a discount on the campaign of the book.
Now, that's one thing I've been looking into. You can offer discounts on Indiegogo, but I don't think you can on Kickstarter.
No, you can't, because that's how you create those secret tiers. Because those perks, you also have secret tiers that you can email to your mailing list that they have discounts. Me, it's something that let's say like you buy the first one of Nat the Merc, and I do any other campaign of Nat, right? Well, the people that back the first one will always get a special secret tier with a special reward or a discount for coming back.
Yeah, I like that. Yeah.
So I just wanted to show the first page here quickly, second page, third page. And
so
that's
Shane, do you incorporate discounts and whatnot into your Indiegogo campaigns?
Discounts? I didn't with my first one. I mean, I've only done the one campaign so far, and
okay.
I didn't do the discounts.
Shane's new.
It was rough enough just kind of going with it and figuring out stuff. Yeah. I mean, I had a lot of help, like I say, from my hardline friends and stuff, like being like, hey, make sure you do this, do that, and so the more I go with it, maybe the second campaign I can offer the discounts and stuff and all that.
Yeah, it's definitely a learn as you go type of industry.
The DM is going to let you make a death speech in the game, so start. No. Mr. Spoiling is not going to die. He's going to be fine, Pale Rider. You shut your filthy mouth. You're going to catch hands in a minute.
You just did your second campaign, didn't you? Your D&D campaign.
Yeah,
we did
our second session.
And it stopped on a cliffhanger.
And it stopped on a dang cliffhanger, and I'm going to spend, until we get to it, an anxiety. I'm going to be stressing over it and trying to look up Pathfinder stuff to try and save him. We're doing a Pathfinder stream, one of those tabletop RPGs,
Okay.
and yeah, on Irene's channel, and I've got a companion for my druid, a little leshy man, and he got attacked by one of the spiders, and he's downed. So I'm in panic mode because I don't want to lose him. And so I'm trying to figure, and we ended it right when he's like laying there down, like, like no, I need to save him. Why are they doing this? I've never got to play before. I never had friends to play him with, so this is my first time really getting to experience it. And this is what they're doing to me. Going to cause me an anxiety attack.
Hey, Chris, just a reminder. We hit the 2 hour and 15 minutes.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to drop pretty soon.
Alrighty.
But it's been great, guys.
It
Thanks for
goes
having
by
me on.
so fast.
Yeah,
It was a
went
pleasure
by
getting
real
to know you.
quick. Yeah.
As you notice, we clicked very well for the first hour. We didn't even cover the book.
It's pretty cool though. I'm one of those fans. I always like when a book is pretty much done. I know like everybody's talking about if it's a good thing or bad thing. I get more excited when somebody can tell me like, hey, this book's pretty much done. It's being, on the way to fulfillment. I actually kind of jump on those books quicker. Now that I've been doing the Indiegogo thing for the past year, I've learned from certain people. I'm like, you know what? I'll wait till this is a little bit further along. So I always enjoy when someone tells me a book is, this far along. So yeah,
That's
and
good
that's
to know.
another one. That's another one that's
And tell us when an Avers
Yeah.
will be mailing soon.
So glad I
Cool.
never had kids that I knew about. My brother gives me shit saying that because there was a girl I used to go see, around where he lived at the time, and she was actually the woman I lost my virginity to, and
Wow.
she had
Whoa.
she had like a biohazard fucking tattoo on her ass cheek.
Dude, this is too much information, but I'm enjoying it anyway.
But she had,
Is this what we're going to end the show on? Like losing my virginity to this
Well,
biohazard.
This is sugar
Have a
magic.
good day.
I ended up not being with her anymore because she basically ran off with two dudes at the same time, and I kind of
Wow.
walked in on that. But after so many,
This
after
red
like-
dress is becoming more
after
relevant now.
after 2 or 3 months later, I think it was, my brother said he seen her like so many months later, seen her, and she was getting pregnant. So then he always gave me shit saying that I got her pregnant or something. I'm like, no, that was not me. That was someone else. Try to bring that on me, buddy.
This has turned to a Maury
I
episode.
was just going to say, is this Jay Springer?
We need some
Did I just lose the transition here?
these intense old screen, Chris.
Not me.
Okay.
I was trying to bring it back around to your book, and
Oh, no, we lost
talking about
that.
the book. It's just like,
Okay,
No, it's gone. Yo,
Here's some
Is this gonna
dark
be a new
tales
thing? Is that
about
gonna
my
be a new thing
virginity.
every time we
and
close?
I may have
it's gonna be
kids out there.
the sugar confession.
That should be part of every show.
yeah, there we go. The sordid stories of my life. Let's see. Just times will have a webcam perk where you can be in the champagne room. God, there is no champagne room in my house.
Should be.
Yeah.
Let me try and catch up. How do you skip this? I was not careless. My party left me. Yeah, it was pathetic because half our party left to go stack rocks.
Okay, I can say something. Having played games
Hey,
with
there's
Chris,
Pops.
yes, he does just go randomly. Doesn't follow the crew and just like.
Well, I do what I want. Get over it.
See, yeah.
What?
Mm.
You know,
All right, let's see.
tells stories about losing his virginity and, just goes on tangents. I like it.
Sugar daddy.
Yeah,
all right.
That's the premise of the show that we did is because we used to always meet up like that because we're friends, right? And I'm waking up at 10 and he's finishing his shift. So, I'm half awake and he's half dead. And we made a joke one day. Like, wouldn't it be fun to have a stream where I'm half awake and you're half dead and and that's how we started this like over a year ago.
Okay. Well, cool. I'm gonna have to drop off, guys, but it's been awesome.
Yeah, just let people know where they can find you everywhere.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So I mean, we've seen the Indiegogo campaign. It is also available on Amazon as of a couple of days ago for the soft cover only. And my website is vigilantecomics.com, and that's comics with an X.
And
so
how did they find you on Facebook, Twitter?
Yeah, so
Instagram?
that's kind of my handle. If you search Vigilante Comics, you'll find me on Instagram. You'll find me on Twitter. I have a group page called Vigilante Comics Fans on Facebook, but I have my personal page as well. So Rob McKinnon, MacKinnon. And yeah, that's pretty much all my online channels. I have a YouTube channel, but to be honest, it's just my Kickstarter videos. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Yeah. So everybody go check out Hildebrand Valkyrie. It looks like it's quite the affordable book, and it's a nice hardcover. Yeah. So please do go check that out. And Rob has been such a great guest and has put up with my shenanigans.
It's been fun.
I'm sure this was not what he expected.
I had no idea.
But there's a hint in the title of the show, Morning Roast.
Well, the only other interview I've had was very serious. It was with Jen King. I don't know if you've yeah. So it felt almost like a TV interview, very formal, and she's great, but this was a nice departure. It's just
we're the opposite of that.
There's no professionalism whatsoever with this.
No.
It's all about just having fun and geeking out.
Yeah, it's awesome.
That's how we get sidetracked often.
We'll let you head back to work, sir.
Yep.
Okay, thank you.
In trouble.
And I'll try and connect with you guys offline. I am serious about eventually wanting to do a plastic figure. So if that's something you're into,
yeah, don't be shy. Just reach out.
Will do. Okay, guys.
I just followed you. We've been friends for a while on Facebook, but I just followed you on Twitter too.
Sounds good. All right, guys.
Later.
Talk
later, sir.
Okay, so you're gonna keep this going, or we're closing?
All right. Whoa! Whoa!
Don't forget to sub, like, and share. Don't forget to sub, like, and share.
So rude.
Get out of here.
All right, are we done here? What are we doing?
No. Dude, you're already talking about losing your virginity. I'm like, let's close this shit.
Well, it pertained to Pale Rider. It made me think of that when Pale Rider's Comics.
It did not pertain to anybody, Chris. That was
like out
totally
of nowhere.
random.
We all went like, what?
By the way.
It's all good because it was fucking hilarious in a way.
Worst thing that happens, it's just something else they'll give me shit over. I don't know.
You're still looking for the red dress replacement. I get it.
I'm not looking for any replacement.
Well,
I don't want a replacement. I want
to be looking for a lady with a biohazard tattoo on her butt cheek or something to find out if he has kids. That's what he needs to be looking
I don't need to find that out. I will be blissfully ignorant. That was just.
You admitted to it.
My brother. No, I didn't admit to nothing. That's just what my brother was saying to give me a hard time, Shane.
Are you still hoping that it was yours?
I never was hoping it was mine to begin with. I'm crazy.
I don't know. With a nuclear sign on her butt cheek, I don't know what tells you that she's nuts.
Yeah, I was not aware of these things until the point of no return.
I'm putting it in a radioactive nuclear reactor. Wow.
I have to slow down with these nugget jelly beans. They're tasty, but some are quite hurtful. Yep. Well, don't take it too far there, Soul. All right. No, we don't need to talk about the red dress. Giant Cage says, "Can I have a short story in the red dress text called The Biohazard Child?"
Yes.
Let's not. Red Dress Diaries isn't a thing, so it doesn't matter.
Oh, I can only imagine what the DM's going to be like now, Chris. I mean, the booty pics you're going to get with people with Biohazard on their butt. Man, the morning roast DM. It's about to blow up.
I already get enough in the morning roast DM from Pale Rider.
Oh, well, you just gave him like a whole new like source of material.
If it comes to you, Chris, I'm thinking about having you in a red suit and only once or twice having to be in. Oh, wow. Thank you so much.
New nickname, Sugar Nuke.
You're so kind. Oh, Lordy. I don't know.
Yeah, hashtag Red Dress Diary at this point would be Red Dress Nuke.
This looks interesting.
Stop shopping.
I don't know. I seen this when I was bringing up his campaign earlier. It's called The Nightlings. It seemed like the art could be good.
I like it.
Yeah, it's interesting.
I'm like, hey,
What's
that's
the name of it?
pretty. It's called The Nightlings.
That is
Yeah.
interesting.
Yeah, I mean, the art looks pretty solid. It's got that kind of grim, dark look to it. Interests me.
Yeah. How much is a copy of this?
Let me see. Monk, I think it's digital, right? Yeah, digital. There's the book itself. $45 or more pledge US.
For a 40-page book?
How many pages is it? Scroll back up. It says it's over 50 pages. Oversized, over 50 pages.
That was good. Bit steep, but good.
Yeah. Prices.
Mm-hmm.
Up there.
Especially when you think about there's going to be shipping.
Yeah.
But it looks good.
Yeah, maybe I'll reach out to the creator. Because he says, yeah. Lore is grim as the Dark Souls series. Brutal themes of Berserk.
Dark Souls.
Yeah. So I thought that's interesting.
Mm-hmm.
I like the look of the art and everything. Maybe I'll try to reach out to him.
Do they have a special for more than one book?
Let me look. There's a limited edition paperback copy. Exclusive bookmark of main character. Paradise. Let's get you the $100 or more to get you the. What's it get you?
All the prints.
Print A, cover A.
One copy of the.
Yeah, it looks like you get 2 copies. Looks like you get the regular and the variant. Then you get a print, some dice, sticker, some other stuff. Another art print.
I really like the art style. Like I'm not usually like super huge on like comics done in the digital painting style, but that is good.
Yeah.
Like I like Vinny's style. I like this. But that image there, it's very berserk. That's very, very guts.
Yeah, yeah. Even like the sword and everything. Yeah, I wonder if can I contact? Oh, okay, contact me. There we go. I'll have to reach out to them and see if they'll come on. I mean, it looks good.
Uh-huh. It looks like a game art.
Yeah. Yeah, it does look like it's inspired by like a tabletop RPG or something. I mean, it even has
You
dice.
get dices and stuff, so you could probably
Yeah.
have a role-playing game.
Yeah, that does interest me. For $1,000, you have your create your own original character to feature in Nightlings. To be featured in Nightlings. Huh. Like, yeah, I want a mushroom man.
Yeah, but dude, that's $1,000 to be in a movie.
Yeah, there's no way I'd pay. I ain't paying that much money for that. Besides, if I get my mushroom man to be in a book, it's going to be my own book. I'd make my own. But I don't know if anybody would want that. Let's see. Yeah, this looks cool. I like this. I'm going to reach out to him, I think. All right, what's everybody saying? Let me check. What? You guys. Oh, Red just diaries. Gosh dang it. Since I'm showing your ass cheek, Chris, should it be smooth? What? It's not your business about my ass cheek, Pale Roger. Gosh. How was the Renaissance Fair, Shane?
Very hot, man. I picked like the hottest day to go, I think. We didn't stay for very long. I didn't even get to the jousting. But we had the kiddos, so we, kind of limited on their singing for the shows.
Yeah.
But I'll probably go again maybe next weekend. Maybe just like a couple of friends or something where we can do a little kickback a little bit more. Not be in such a rush.
Yeah. I'm trying to think if I've ever even been to one. I may have been to one Renaissance Fair. I can't remember.
Well, I guess they started I don't know what it's called, but it's because they're fans for the jousting, obviously, but they actually start doing the like on ground combat now there. Well,
yeah,
they just beat the hell out of each other with actual swords and stuff.
Have you ever seen that clip?
Didn't get to see it yet.
Have you ever seen the clip of the big like knight-looking guy? I think he's got like a tower shield, like a board shield, and there's like a smaller knight dude, and he's got like a weapon, and the guy's like, what's he say? He's like, "How do you like the taste of dirt, little man?" or something like that. The guy's like, and he runs towards him. He just hits him with the shield. He pumps down, just flat into the dirt. And he's just laid out. It's fucking hilarious.
No, I haven't seen that one.
Yeah, it's funny. I'll have to find that clip. He's like, "How do you like the taste of dirt, little man?" And he's just like, poof. They're like, "Oh, shit." The guy's just laid out on the ground. It's fucking funny. Let me see if I can find it. Yeah, tell me how the grass tastes. I think that's it. Let's see. That's it. Yeah, I'll show you. Here. Okay, full screen. Tell me how the grass tastes, little man. Like poof. Oh man,
That was awesome. Shield to the face.
He bashed him good. Add Chris the fake news. Never answers the real questions. You don't need to know what my ass cheek looks like, Pale Rider. That's none of your business.
Did
I'm
you
not
have
one of your strippers.
Did you have a tattoo of some such?
I have no tattoos. None. Not a single one. That's right. See, Johnny Cage knows what's up.
So I think Pale Rider's trying to figure out also if you might have a mole or a beauty mark on one of those butt cheeks, because I think that's what he's doing right now.
No.
He's drawing up some detailed art.
The red, he's doing the reverse Marilyn Monroe. Instead of looking in the front, you're gonna look in the back and see the butt cheeks. So he's trying to figure out what he needs to put there. Now he's gonna say, "That's a great idea, son."
I don't know. We've been doing this for too long. I need to wrap this up.
Maybe.
Done with this. Oh lordy. Shane.
Yes.
Mr. Mess. I've seen you
At your
post,
service.
I've seen you post pictures of
Of what? What'd you see?
You're okay, Shane. He's not that much on Facebook.
I've seen you post pictures of of your next book.
Oh yeah. It's coming along pretty good. Ely has like 20 pages penciled now, 10 of them's inked, so I'm happy. I'm happy with where. Like I said, I think this one I'm going to wait till it's pretty much done before I worry about Indiegogo.
How many pages?
Most because I'm going into the 30. Going into like the winter and stuff. It most will be done during that time period, so I don't want to launch a campaign during the winter. So I'm going to launch it more in the spring. And I think by then it'll be done. So
Makes sense.
So
Let's see.
yeah.
Twitter campaign. I don't know what he's talking about there. Wait, so the biohazard loves. No, I don't have no tattoos.
See, yeah.
On any of me, let alone on my butt.
Told you that's what I was trying to figure out.
Shane Agden is
Yep.
the Lost Musketeer.
Huzzah!
Oh Lord.
Man, I wish I could get like an actual like armor suit and stuff, but man, going to the Renaissance Festival, everything's so damn expensive. Like I know they hand make a lot of it, but and it's so funny. Like when you see like the guy who like will spend the money to get like a piece of armor. It's like watching like a newbie at like in a video game or something. Like they run around, they got like a $800 like bracelet on. They're like, but they got like a Metallica. They got a Metallica shirt on. You're like, you're never gonna get the rest of that outfit. I got these bracelets for them.
You got loot?
Yeah, I got me loot.
I don't have.
It's so expensive.
I don't have bracers or anything. I just got the chainmail shirt and tabard and stuff. I don't have like a.
I need to get boots.
I seen a great helm at the Morgantown Con. I thought about it because I was like, hey, I could have the great helm to go with my Crusader Kino outfit, but I never did. I was like, no, I don't need like one of those full-on great helms that covers up your whole face and everything.
Now, do you have a Renfest
for YouTube?
Do you have a Renfest that's close to you? See, mine's only like down the street. Like it's literally like not even like 10 miles away from the most part.
Yeah, no, I don't have one that close. Like mine, probably like at least an hour away. I'd say probably a couple hours. Probably around Morgantown. I'd probably figure. Yeah, it'd probably be a couple hours. Let's see.
They're all mailing next week.
What? A short story where Chris tries to woo the werewolf girl is gonna be what?
That's gonna be
What werewolf girl?
gonna
What
be-
are you talking about,
That's
Pale
gonna be in
Rider?
Blood Hunt 2.
What is he talking about? Who's the werewolf girl? tried to. I did not try to woo Gretchen. Gretchen. Where is Gretchen?
The wolf you're riding on that art.
Where did I set that?
Oh no, so
Oh,
they're not proof copies. They're the copies.
I got it sitting here. This is not. This
No,
is
they're not
not.
proof.
This is not wooing. We are simply riding together to adventure. That is all. We are companions. There's no weird shenanigans.
The adventures of trying to find your lost children.
Goddamn Katie.
So it's like Sim is dick whipping us with Nadverse proof copies. They're not proof, guy. They're the actual books.
They're the real deal.
And they're all mailing next week.
So put the link to Shane's YouTube channel. Yes, everyone should go check it out. Shane's been getting active
working
again
on it.
on the YouTubes.
I was actually doing some video stuff before I saw that you put the link up. I'm working on the cover the Red Labels indie comic showcase. Trying to put a video together for that. So yeah, that's going to be my next video.
Oh,
Highlighting that.
let's see. At least Gretchen has a better chance of surviving. You shut your mouth, Jay Cage. Mr. Sporling is going to be fine. He's going to live. I will make sure he lives. He will be okay.
He's a spore, so he can blow up and make more copies of himself.
And who knows? Maybe Gretchen one day will make an appearance in a tabletop RPG. Maybe like Katie could come on one time and she could be like a druid that shapeshifts into a wolf or something.
You know, I think you picked the perfect character to die many times in that D&D game. Poof! You die.
No,
Spore,
no,
regrow. You're like
they're not dying.
You're like a
Nobody's
mushroom brew.
dying. He's gonna be fine.
But would you? But we're over level 1 if he died, even if it's a spore, though, right? Like it would have the different memories and all that stuff. It's not like a clone if he died and a spore comes about, right?
That's true. Yeah, probably would be the same thing.
Yeah, I mean, you have to regrow and there'd be a whole new little toad guy.
Yeah, it'd be a whole different character.
Mushroom guy.
It'd be like the son of Mr. Spoiler.
Yeah. Now, if you can like somehow like get your memory transferred, I don't know if there's a spell for that or whatever. Like if you have like a fresh corpse, can you take the memory and plant it into a new body? Maybe?
I think the way the Leshy lore is supposed to work is they're basically spirits inhabiting these bodies. So I think like if he did die, I could use the magic to recreate a body and put his spirit back in it, basically a Leshy body or something. But we're not going to get to that point because he's not going to die.
I mean, is he worth saving if like he couldn't even take a spider though? Like I'd be like, yeah, we'll just leave him dead. Like, move on, companions. Leave the mushroom behind.
That's too much work. Moving on.
Yeah.
Soul says that Dunkel Zipper thanks us all for being able to watch such a fun stream on his belated birthday sit-in. He called Sim the talented vampire artist, but that might already be the alcohol. Yeah. Tell Dunkel Zipper happy birthday for us. We all love Dunkel Zipper here. Dunkel Zipper.
Yep.
Yeah, get Katie to play a furry. J.K. says he died many times as an NPC in the Red Valkyries campaign. The Grim Reaper doesn't want me. I don't know if I've ever watched theirs. I don't think I have. All right. We need to wrap this up. It's been going on for a while now.
Yeah, you've been saying that for like an hour.
Hey,
What?
I'm not holding you hostage. You want to go? You want to fight? You want to throw down? Slap hands? Let's go.
Put him up.
You want me to put on that red dress and tango?
All right, we're gonna salsa the night away.
See how you back down?
Well, you're over there picking up Thor's hammer, so I don't know.
Yeah.
Alrighty, everybody, we're gonna wrap this one up. I gotta reach out to guests. I got a few people in the wings. I just gotta set up days for, and then I gotta reach out to Phil, Passion. Who else? Russ, and some other folks about getting them on as well. So, yeah, I'll get that set up either tonight or something like that. We will have. I'll have guests for the future shows, and it was a great show as always. Apparently the guest had fun because he messaged me and said he'd come back on our show anytime. So
Awesome.
the next time he's got a campaign rolling, we will have him on. He was a great fella.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Let's see. Shane, any final words?
Yes. Man, I need to find something better to do with my life. No.
All right. Well, those were some
Wow.
shitty final words, Shane.
I know, right?
What am I doing hanging out with you guys?
No, it was fun.
Did you buy a fancy a cup too? Is that what you're drinking out of?
I got this for Christmas, actually. I kept telling my dad I needed a mug of some sort to carry around the Renaissance Festival.
Let me see that.
So he finally gave me
Oh yeah, that's
nice.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
nice. Yeah, good on Dad.
Yeah.
That's a nice one.
Yeah.
All right, Sim, your final words.
Mail in next week. Don't forget to sub, like, and share. And keep your eyes open for the Second Chance campaign with the 2 variant covers.
Okay, French beer. All right. And as for me, you can find me at Sugar Chris on the Twitters. And of course, you find me here on the YouTubes. And be sure to leave us a little like, maybe subscribe or share us around. Spread that word of mouth. Always appreciated.
We all want to see him run that in that red dress run, so let's get him to 1,000 sub.
We're up to 309 subs. Only one away from a nice even 310. Yeah, we're doing pretty good. I never thought we'd get that far. Up to 300. That's pretty great. Thanks everybody for tuning in, and we'll see you on the next one. Laters.
Beware when we pass that 500, 1,000 ain't that far.